Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Element event. Today we are back with some more of these scrims that are going to be live broadcasted, and I am accompanied by the classiest of men, man of class. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, honestly. It's another great day for Spellbreak. Had some games earlier today. Now we're gonna get to cast some scrims. It's all good. Whenever we get to cast Spellbreak or see Spellbreak, interact with Spellbreak, can your day really get worse? It's just great.
It's a good way to start the week. We got that Monday going with these live broadcasts. Something else to note as well before we jump in is that this might be the last scrim that's live before the major patch drops, and everything is going to change once that October 22nd date rolls around. So savor this moment, savor the meta as we see it, because it might all get flipped very soon. And we're going to get into this game one in just a second. But what do you think about what's upcoming for the game on the 22nd? What do you think about ambidextrous and these new crazy talents?
Look, there's so much that's gonna get broken wide open. I mean, ambidextrous. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, no, there's no way that's gonna be in body, right? Or it's gonna be in mind." No, it's in spirit. See, recovery is getting a challenger, and that's super exciting because we've seen so many people just run recovery or thirsty or recovery or thirsty. And then ambidextrous comes in. It opens up so many avenues for new builds, new plays. You can maybe run it with a spell slinger, so you have even more things at your disposal. And then when you come to the mind talents, there comes an extra health. The vigor comes in, and sure, there's still a bit of a question mark about that foresight talent. Now, is it really going to be that helpful? Is it tracking going to be a thing? If you're Frostborn, do you really need it? Because you're going to see people from miles away anyways. But if you get these smaller circles, or if you're in places with a lot of these crevices, a lot of these nooks and crannies where everyone can hide in, might also be very helpful. So, loot advantage, player advantage, positional advantage. There's a lot you can do with that. It just opens up a lot of avenues. I think, honestly, we don't really know. We barely scratch the surface, theoretically speaking, of what we can think up from these combinations so far.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's a theoretical combination that always gets me excited is the fact that Finders Keepers has reportedly, it's going to get a buff, apparently. We don't know the details of that. But if this gets combined with Foresight, when players can start seeing mana vaults ahead of time, players might start prioritizing those loot routes. You might start getting knowledge potions out of those mana shrines. So these new types of rotations could really change how these games get approached, especially when it comes to trios. Today is going to be solos, so it won't quite be the same dynamic. It is going to be that classic every man for themselves, but nonetheless, we will be getting into it very soon. Some good analysis. And like you said, we won't know until the patch comes out. I think it's very easy to over speculate on these types of changes, but we don't know until these players get their hands on it. We have definitely seen in the past proletariat devs propose changes and the community harshly overreacts, but the changes don't actually shake the meta that much. I think this is a different approach. I think this will actually cause a big change, but we don't know for sure. So we're going to wait just a little bit. We got OSK in the chat as well telling me I got a beautiful face. You as well, man of class. We're looking nice and purty today, and it's going to be all the rest of it. So we are going to try to do chat interaction. That's going to be a feature of these broadcasted scrims. It's a little bit more laid back of a style. We'll see how this all turns out. But nonetheless, what do you expect at a game one, man of class?
I mean, game one is always just a bit of a warm-up for everybody, right? Like, there's no such thing as a warm-up scrim for a scrim. That would be weird. So the players have probably been playing a little bit, on their own, just to be able to pub games, etc. And that's all good and well, but they haven't really gotten that competitive itch scratch just yet. So that's the first game. We're going to see the usuals probably do really well. The other players usually take a bit more time to warm up. I think last week we had Kamsky just winning out the first one, and then afterwards everyone else started to win some. So that's a trend I do expect to continue. These players that always show up, they're going to show up in the first game, and then afterwards it's going to drop off more. Meta predictions, that's a completely different story. I don't think it really matters anymore because we're just going to get a new patch in a few days, so everything we speculate now is going to be irrelevant soon anyways. But, we can try. It's going to be the same as we usually see. If people want to train something, then they're gonna. That's just how scrims are. But the one thing I'm excited for is players preparing for a patch without the patch having dropped. I don't know if do you know what I mean by that, play safe?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, you mentioned that with this ambidextrous and how Spellslinger might work with that class, we might see some of these experienced players pulling out the Spellslinger to prepare for these things. I did actually see Tacos talking in another Discord about how he's been running no recovery to try to practice for when he can't run recovery with all these new talents. So that's another interesting adaptation, and that's a great point you raise. We are right into game one, though, so let's see if any of those actually come through in the game. We see the first fight here as he's shooting down some lightning, trying to take down a low HP target. Gonna follow him through the side of this window, maybe finishing off the kill. The boulder does connect off the very side. Armor is going to be shattered once again, but it's very hard to chase out this kill with no rune. Now he's going to have to try to run and follow. Getting over the top now, sees that high ground is in position. The other player might be going for a pot, but doesn't have the resources. This looks like an almost surefire kill if he can finally get on the same level and slam him down with those shockwaves. The boulder will go again, but just needs that last little edge to finish off this kill. It's taking so long, and it might go right here, but the sorcery doesn't land either man of class, and now this fight is just getting drawn out way too long.
I mean, should have just gone for the lightning bolt. Would have already been over, but now their opponent gets a chance to heal. I think they might have actually lost track of them. Maybe an invisibility rune came up. Not quite sure what happened there, but they've definitely lost track of someone here. Oh, they maybe spotted them again, but another sorcery goes wrong. No lightning strike for you. Finally gets that last shockwave that they needed. Oh, what a long, prolonged fight indeed. It didn't really matter. It's not really a third party coming in that sense, but it's still time that is taken away from your early game loot.
Yeah, for sure. Now we see as we bounce around further into the screen, we got Canada YouTube. Just going to keep on moving, though. Don't want to stay on him for too long, apparently. As we see another player looking around for some more loot. Got that green Spring Step, so not the greatest of runes for the build that they're rocking. But, you know, Spring Step can do some work with Pyro for sure. Now we got our very own Crashy off the top, already with that epic ice, so he's going to be looking good going into this fight. He does have good loot all around as well. Might be trying to pick one, and we are going to keep on bouncing for a fight. We finally find one, and this guy is looted out of his mind as he misses 2 consecutive air shots. Now it's just going to stick with that lightning damage. You see the 11 ticks, throws down a nice sorcery to get the CC as well, and that will be the Vital Stone pop. This should be a final kill as he's just taking his sweet time, maybe reading for a half second, but now just whiffs a couple straight up shots. Just needs that lightning. Stay patient here. Stay calm under pressure and finish the kill. There it goes. Does eat a DF, took a lot of damage there, but it's not going to matter. He finishes that kill and there's no third party threat. So he's going to be fine to just keep on looting.
Yeah, honestly, the only thing that really gets lost there is the total amount of armor potions in the game, because they will definitely get consumed there. Now we are going to just jump around to the next player, see if we can pick up some fights, and there's another one that's actually quite looted up. The loot has been early game pretty good. As I stated, of course, we get onto Thread, it has not really gone anything for them. I'm having a bit trouble reading the names at the moment. I'm sorry, so I can't quite see what this is. Bastion LMAO. Bastion. See, I can't. There's like few letters missing for me. It's so it's blurry, but it's cool. We're gonna get through it. It's right now looking like a toxicologist trying to get somewhere in the map. Didn't really have anything in terms of loot. Maybe had to run away from their early loot place, feeling too threatened. And we're gonna get straight into another play here. Toxicologist face off. It looks like both with a shadow step as well. What a mirror!
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either of them have Outbreak unlocked yet, though. So even though the Shadow Step is there for them, the damage increase is not. Look at that quick jump from his opponent. Lanky Moose does have the HP advantage, though. He could push this, might hit a clutch shot, doesn't land it. Gets out of the way of the cloud, but still takes a bit of damage. Gonna make the opportunity here to pot with Thirsty. Look at that reaction time. Sees the opponent's Shadow Step and burns one just in time. Gets a nice iframe with the Frost Sorcery with a Flick 2. This is where he needs to close it out. He got the freeze, but didn't read the situation. Still going to finish the kill, though. That's a nice drop from Lanky C Moose. That was a close moment there. He froze his opponent and didn't even quite realize it there. Nonetheless, he will finish that kill. And even though there's a small mistake there, it's going to be a clean finish. And we're going to move on to the next players as we continue this game 1 of Scrims. Saw Ashen Frost for a quick second there on the Tempest. That's going to be some hype to see in the late games. Now we see 3 players in one spot. The Frostborn trying to hit the shot, gets a 65, but each one in return. Common boots are going to be doing him no help running on frozen alacrity trails. Jumps over the side now, gets another opportunity, but misses it just below the Keymaster. Drinking a pot, seeing a lot of Thirsty so far today. This guy's already got it 3 stacked up, so he's going to be drinking nice and fast. Taking some more shots from deep, doesn't get any of them to connect though, and this is the position you want to be in as a Frostborn. Just far away in the backside, just raining in the damage. If you can land it, he's going to be very comfortable here, MOC.
Yeah, definitely. And Zen said in chat, and it's definitely true, still over 20 players left in lobby. That's how you know it's a competitive scrim environment. It's very astute from you, Zen, to notice that one. Yeah, I mean, obviously Frostborn on high ground, going to be very happy just shooting ice lances, but it also means not a lot of action going on right now because no one wants to try and approach that. No one wants to get an ice lance into the face. It means we're going to jump around. It looks like this is a player that's in a little bit of trouble here. Kemsky, actually. Yeah, I can actually read this now, somehow. It's great. Has a legendary dash rune, but still running a blue conduit. And we'll be running with a Conduit and the Pyro offhand. So with the classic 2-2-2 build, this seems like a fairly normal thing to do for Kamsky. Not running a signature Toxicologist and Ice offhand, though. Something that we see from them a lot, but that Conduit is a close second on a favorite build for them. Definitely expecting them to go far. Already got 3 Exiles on the board, throwing out another Sorcery just to get that rune charge reset. And probably go for this Mana Vault, but they're actually challenging this position of the Ice Lance up there. Saw that before. Now we're getting the counter position. Just go for long-range assault shots.
This is one of my favorite things about watching Kamsky, though, is he's always just challenging other players' positions. He is going to eat a major Frost Knife there, though. He might be in trouble. Took a nether sight of damage from a nether angle, and now he's getting jumped on. Kamsky in trouble. A lot of dash runes to use thanks to Conduit with Runic Fluence. He gets a little bit of space now. Looks for the potions. He probably will get this off as well. His opponent didn't track him into the hallway. He will get another shot at this, but he may have just lost everything in that Mana Vault. You saw that he popped it, and this fight got extended. Now Kamsky has to give up his loot that he would have earned, rightfully so. Never mind, it looks like he will get another shot to go check it out, and that's going to be big for him if he can have time to read that scroll, unless it looks like he's already full of recovery, so maybe not so good. Now we see more Toxicologists coming through and more Juke Glow as we keep on bouncing looking for a fight.
Yeah, very nicely done. Honestly, there's a lot of fights going on all over the place. Not a lot of 1v1s. This is really the place where, because the circle's getting smaller, these players are going to get into the 1v1v1v1v1v1v1s. There's so many going on at the same time. It looks like you're being chased here right now, trying to get some armor up, but there was fighting going on. You saw the pyros, the flames on the ground, making sure that someone could get caught out of them. And we're looking forward to seeing what this Pyromancer is going to do with the Frost in the offhand, because that's not something we see a lot, especially because the two don't really combine as well together.
Thank you so much, the Roman Gnome, by the way, for those gifted subs. That is so clutch of you. You were out here last week showing us so much love as well, but we're into a fight right away, so I will continue the love after we watch Gigabyte pick this fight. He's got that Stone Shaper, still full armor for the most part, toxic offhand, but it's only green. All the damage is going to be attached to that legendary Stone Gauntlet, as Gigabyte looks like he just wants to run away from this fight completely. Gets another chance here to take a pot. Does have focused mana as well. We saw this a lot last week. Stone Shaper with the focused mana for that 59 damage slam if you can connect it with enough mana. Now we're over to Dex MTS as he's got that Tempest build rocking. Always fun to see Tempest players come out here in the scrims and try to show off. Ilya's taken over in the kill feed with another drop on the fire. Now we see the chance for Dex to get in here. Hits a nice Toxic. He's going to chase this fight completely down. Dash off cooldown. Now gets up on top. Needs one more flick to finish the kill, and there it drops. He will get third party though, so this is a tough situation for Dex MTS. His cooldowns are burned as he takes a bit more damage. His armor is gonzo, and now Dex MTS takes a beautiful dash through the crevice to get some space, and he's going to drink a pot. Once again, we see Thirsty on this player's talent selection, but this player chasing him has no stop. Now Dex MTS repositions, takes a dash rune, still eating damage from that Lightning Gauntlet. So much pressure coming from that. Dex MTS, though, does get more and more potions. Nonetheless, he's getting chased so hard, but he's still finding these windows to drink pots. Great work from Dex MTS to maybe be able to turn this fight now, MOC. He has a chance with the way he's been positioning. Let's see if he can close this one out. Got that Toxic in the offense, so the damage is going to be live, and we'll see if he can finish it up. But his opponent looks like they just completely lost track of this one, and Dex MTS is going to get away for sure, MOC.
Yeah, I burned a lot of potions there, but of course with the Thirsty, it's going way faster than you're normally used to. If every time I run Thirsty, I'm always like, oh wait. I thought I had more potions, but I drank them all. How is it so fast? Well, because it's Thirsty. That's how. Well, eventually I think they got spotted out by their opponent again, but now they're so far away on that Tempest that they're never going to be able to be called out for. See a lot of Tempest love in the chat. Keep it going. These players, they might actually start running it more if those patches come in. Now we see Toxicologist with Ilya. Yeah, we know Ilya is really good at getting to the late game. It's a standard where they get, and with this small circle, 14 breakers left, this loot is going to help them out a lot. They're straight away under fire though from an opponent. With that Toxicologist, can use the Vanishing Mist, can use their Shadow Step, and just flank someone straight away. That outbreak that is now definitely online, doing so much extra damage.
That is one of the best feelings as a Toxicologist, though, when you round a corner and you spot somebody drinking a potion. You know that in that moment you have a chance to throw some burst unhinged. Ilya now going to look for a pot of his own, has a lot of legendary loot on him. So as you said, he is ready to go for this late game. Bastion gets another kill, this time with Frost, as we bounce over to Lanky C Moose. He has 2 kills to his name as we see 13 people left in game 1. Got all sorts of purples and green boots on him, and we're just going to keep on moving. Ashen Frost, star of the show whenever he comes out on this Tempest, and he's rocking it today. We'll see what he can pull out. Has that Frost in the offset, very typical for him on this build. Jumps up now, takes the dash rune off cooldown, going to keep it stacked up with that runic fluency, so the mobility will be very high. This is his chance to put out a bit of damage, though. Needs to get the shot. That looks like Jukla with the hollow skin. Doesn't quite hit it now. Ashen Frost off the high ground, maybe going to look for a potion, but no armor resources to speak of. Gets another chance onto Juklo, hits him square in the chest now, breaking that armor, just putting down the harass onto Juklo and repositioning himself very carefully here. Ashen Frost showing you guys how to play this Tempest build. Make sure that you're spacing correctly and watching where your opponents are. Now going to move to another pillar, maybe look to get on the high ground, reestablish himself. Not yet. He's going to bounce around, and we are going to continue to bounce as well. Getting over to Breezy, it looks like. Getting an angle with that Frostborn. Toxic offhand seems to be a trend for today as we see a fight unfold. Breezy goes for the up top duck hunt shot. Doesn't quite get it, though, now. Dodges a cloud very appropriately and gets himself off the back. This is not the best position for the Frostborn, but it looks like he's going to try to take a new fight. Oh, right up in your face, man. He gets jumped on with some huge fireballs. Gets a very nice Frost Sorcery off in time to save some big damage, though. But Breezy knows he's been spotted, has to move. Pyro's going to be following him all the way through. Nice quick flick, but neither player's hit it. Bastion LMAO, on the other hand, is in the kill feed, and I think he's gone here, MOC. I don't think he wants any of that Pyro fight.
No, he's trying to get chased, but the Pyro got attacked by a Tempest user, so there'll be a nice Fire Nado going on in the back line, while Breezy just gets ambushed by the next player, Toxicologist this time around. Both of them losing quite a bit of health, but it's Breezy that's definitely drawing on the short end right now, needs to hit this snipe, is not doing it, and gets taken out by Lanky C Moose, I think that is. It is indeed. Nicely done from them. They're still running that Ice Lance in the offhand, which is a very powerful tool for the range damage, and that Toxic Slap just came in so hard in that fight.
Yeah, Kamsky's still living, by the way. We saw him in a bit of trouble earlier on in this game, but he's managed to survive and keep it up. He has 4 kills to his name, too, so he's dealing a lot of aggressive damage. Taking some for his own trade, though. Look at this opponent with the win. Kamsky keeping the tracking right on him. All of those 14s, but now he eats a bit of firewall damage, and the storm as well. Kamsky is so low, and this will be his death. Oh, the recovery holds him for just another second. Look at him. He manages to stay alive despite all the odds. Kamsky's unkillable as he continues to just dish out the damage. He will not fall. But there it comes. The DF AoE is too much. He can dodge anything except for such a big cloud. That was a very impressive fight nonetheless. Surprised that Kamsky managed to dish out so much work. I thought he was going to die right when that Ignite landed, but he keeps it going. And now we see Gigabyte, who's also keeping it going in his own way. 5 people left in the game, and now he sees some action. Lost a Toxicologist, it seems like, in this final circle, but this is not a bad situation for a Stone Shaper. Enough open ground for him to work with as he shows off that lightning, getting those big damage kicks, no armor to speak of. He will recharge a bit with that Stone Shaper passive. Gets away from eating more firewall damage. Nice movement for Gigabyte to keep his feet moving. 5 people left in this game, and Mana Class, we might see this one unfold right now.
It will. We see one going down already. I can't quite read who it is, but Ilya gets that pick off. I'll go to player number 21. I think we all know who that is. I'm pretty sure we know who that is. It's most likely at least. But we're gonna go straight ahead. They're hiding in the tree quite nicely, and with that Toxicologist build, they have more invis than ever. And then you throw an invisibility rune on it. They're just gonna wait it out. They're gonna wait until they see an opening where they can do a lot of damage, and then take the fight. But we're not gonna be watching that. Of course not. We're going to Ilya, who has been dealing out a lot of damage. 4 XLs to their name, trying to get some more. The armor buffs are truly on. I think no one has any left at this point. It's so late in the game. Everything's been drunk. It's just a few big health potions, and it's one that recoveries. It's going to take forever to drink those. Still trying to get their opponent out of that tree. That's just ridiculous that they're still in there. Gets a nice slap, nice toxic spray there on one. Takes a huge amount of damage and gets finished off by, I think that's Lanky C Moose. No, it's not. It's someone again. Lanky C Moose also going down. There's a double kill coming out from KW there.
MOC, who is running Vital Stone in this game? I was so surprised that he hit that flick, and then I see that he gets a Vital Stone proc. Now we have a 1v1, and it looks like Gigabyte is in a bit of trouble. Armor has been broken. He knows his opponent has a lightning, so he has to just try to space or get in his face. Choose one of the two, but you can't just sit idly by while the lightning deals damage. Gigabyte goes into the storm for a second. All of this loot sitting in the middle, and he stuffs the boulder into the face of the opponent to take game one's win. That was quite a final circle, a lot of action unfolding in a short period of time, and that will conclude game one, as we see a lot of toxicologists, more than I expected for sure.
I was very, very, very worried that Gigabyte would lose that last fight there because their opponent had been hiding in that tree with all their invisibility for like half an hour in the last circle. And you really just don't want a player like that to win. You know, at some point you got to engage. Don't just keep looking for the opening. Just make the opening happen, right? We want to see some fighting going on there. And as soon as they took that fight, they lost it. So unfortunately, that's not going well for them. But Gigabyte's going to be happy. I mean, got a lot of exiles in the last circle. Definitely, won the game. So that would be a good placement. Of course, it is unscored, unfortunately, but it's some scrim bucks you can take to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely a lot of scrim confidence. We know Gigabyte's always out here in the scrims putting in work. He's definitely a great player, so he deserves that win for sure, just like any player who takes a win in these scrim lobbies. But that was an exciting game. I think the craziest moment for me was seeing Kamsky manage to just work with that recovery to almost pull out a 2v1 at about 21 HP. That would have been an insane play. Unfortunately, the DF did stick to take his life, but we're going to see more moments like that as we got more games to come. Also, just to let you guys know, I know last week we did 6 games, but we've decided to upgrade this week. We're doing 8 games total, 4 games, halftime break, 4 games. So we're bringing you guys more action. We heard your guys' feedback, how you wanted more game time, so we're giving it to you. And we're about to get into game 2. We saw Kamsky on the conduit, a lot of toxicologists, some stone shapers as well. Definitely fun to see. But like you said before we start the event, a lot of players are just playing whatever they want because they know the game is about to change on October 22nd.
Yeah, and that's not even whatever they want. It's whatever they might think as like gauntlet combinations especially is going to be good next, right? So like you talked about before, there's players that don't want to run recovery anymore because maybe they will be running ambidextrous after that patch goes live and then recovery's out of the book. So how are you going to work with that? Are you going to be able to adapt to that situation? And the players that are already theory crafting within their own builds right now are the ones that might be ahead. Then again, we said it before, if you over-speculate, you might be way off, and then you've practiced a whole week or 2 weeks for no good reason, or at least, maybe for a patch in a few months later, but then that's already, I don't know. There's a merit and a downside to theory crafting in that situation. So let's see if these players keep the balance up and are able to still give out the dubs, even though they're experimenting with things.
Yeah, for sure. We got a comment from Beether saying recovery is the GOAT. That is a very factual statement. That talent has been seeing all sorts of play throughout these events. And this is kind of what we've been talking about with this whole October 22nd change up. With these new talents, we might finally see that goated talent of recovery get challenged for its usage. It's just the go-to. It's so valuable for what it provides at the points it's held at. And hopefully we might see some big changes coming up. But enough about me talking about the future. We got games to play, man. We got game 2 coming up right now. And we'll see if we get any changes up on who takes the win. We did see Gigabyte winning game 1. Keep track of that one, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into these next matches. Here we are right into a beautiful loading screen as it passes, and we see Drasticon, a very experienced Pyro player with the work, waiting for that mana vault. Going to see what he gets out of it. Pretty nice start for him. Going to get a legendary stone. Ooh. That is going to do a massive amount of damage in the early game. But now we keep on bouncing and seeing all these players just get their spots, get their loot, and try to stay safe. Bastion is not managing to stay safe. He eats a quick fireball off the side of the wall. Nice skin, though, as he does take DF as well. Bastion is just so low in this early engagement, and that was a bit of a misplay as he's going to fall right away. Kamsky showing off that quick damage burst, already having the teleport as well, so he's going to be able to move the map, and players should be scared of that. This is a player that I do love to watch as well, the Dark Breakers. Consistently plays well in all of our competitive events, and we're going to see him with that nice back bling, that artifact, see if he can come out here in game 2 and get some more W's for himself.
I already see it. Jovan being the chat, bested the oopsie by dropping in Kamsky's drop spot. And we might actually start feeling it out now. Like feeling this is going to be my drop spot every now and then. If you're going to come here, I'm going to take you out. And maybe you want to take that challenge every now and then. But this time around, it wasn't so lucky for Bastion. Just got absolutely dumpstered. And honestly, I was so impressed by already seeing that Toxic just going over, because the arc obviously lets you hit places that you cannot actually see, especially if they're at range. So Kamsky perfectly arching that, gets one of those spray bolts straight into the face of Bastion, and then Bastion just proceeds to jump into a fireball and then a firewall, and it's just, there's nothing they can do. Now we're obviously looking at a Frost, or at least an Ice Lance off. I know that the Pyro from... is coming out here. Of course, the offhand ice is still there, and it's interesting for me to see this combination, because fire and ice don't really work together all the time, do they?
No, they don't have very many combinations themselves, but I think as gauntlets, aside from not having very many effective interactions, I do think that they balance each other out quite well. I think the fire plays up super well in close range and mid-range engagements, and ice kind of covers your bases at distance. So I agree with you that the interactions aren't super potent, but I do like that setup of rocking Pyro with the Frost offhand. But now we see as we move on to these other players, Drasticon once again going to be on the spotlight. He is in a fight this time. He already has all purple, so he's looking quite good. We did see him get a legendary stone earlier. And just to mention Logan Rubas in the chat, yes, you are allowed to still join these scrims. Get in here, my friend. Get in the Element Discord and hop in that scrimming VC. But we see Drasticon now just trying to keep himself alive. Hasn't taken any damage off the front side of this fight, so he should be fine to just keep on himself moving and not going to take too much out of this engagement. He's looted up, but still doesn't want to push too far. Now we're going to see these screens come by as the last round's winner, Gigabyte, is spotlighted, moving through the top side. Marcus, a.k.a. Apostle, another great player, as we see all sorts of highlight names. And this is going to be a fantastic game. Ilya, though, in an engagement right away. Look at him dealing damage. Hasn't taken nearly any to himself, and he's going to just finish this one up clean, it looks like. Look at the shadow step tracking. Opponent uses a great firewall to keep some space. Doesn't quite get the debuff off in time. Ilya waited a little bit too long, but look at the beautiful snipe. Keeping himself focused, not breaking under pressure. Now he knows it's just one more to finish the kill. His opponent is doing a great job of using firewall here, but Ilya just continues the W key pressure, and now another player has joined the fray. Ilya is in so much trouble. This is the worry about a solo match. You get third-partied if you're not quick enough on the kill. Ilya might be lucky to get away with this, but still, that could have been a free exile that he did not manage to capitalize on, as he's looking, seeking, searching for his opponent who might be potting.
I think you just saw another player go through there, but they might have gotten an invisibility rune because they're nowhere to be found. Ilya will just be able to shield up, heal up, and go again. But we're going to just go to the next player, see if there's something going on. Someone else just jumping for that circle, trying to get back outside of the storm. You don't want to get caught by that one. And there's a lot of players actually inside of this spell storm right now. Not really sure why. Probably a lot of prolonged engagements that just barred them from coming in sooner. And now we're going to be seeing Juklo actually being able to heal up after they just entered the stormless zone. Yeah, not really looking that great on that loot on that guy, but it doesn't matter because we're going to go for the next one. And this time around, we do see some nice legendary items all over this man's inventory. That's a great place to be in, but doesn't have that much range. They're currently being assaulted by someone who has high ground advantage and I think range gauntlet advantage as well. You got to get in close with that Pyro, got to get in close with that Toxic to actually do the damage right now. We're able to try go after their opponent, but I think they lost track of them and they've just been running away. And repositioning in Spellbreak, you can see it right here, can be very important to just keep everybody on their toes.
OSK is dropping a quick comment in chat saying if Ilya hits that last frost, he takes both players. Very bold statement from OSK right there, making the claim that Ilya could have dealt with the third party if he hit that final shot. We'll see what happens in this other engagement, as a beautiful kill steal will actually land with that DF. And now he's full HP pushing on, and this guy just keeps getting walked into these third-party situations. I don't know if he'll be able to capitalize. Paralysis is just moving through the top side. Spring Step off cooldown so low with legendary rarity, but now he's actually getting pushed directly. Takes a Firefly with that firewall, and now is not going to get away though. Does have Spring Step again on such a low cooldown. Not going to be able to fully get tracked, but we don't know for sure. When you're getting run down by a toxicologist, you don't know if he's really left your back or not. But really quick, we got a donation. Let me read it on the side here. The Roman Gnome, $25. Oh my goodness, my man. Thank you so much for all of your support already. We are only in game 2 and you're already showering us with love, my friend. Thank you so much, the Roman Gnome. We appreciate you. Jumping over to Zen860, Element Administrator live in the flesh here. Rocking that patented Skull Slinger with the Conduit, trying to make himself known on this top position. Doesn't actually opt for the Wolf's Blood, pinged it for himself. Very high IQ player here, MOC. Definitely a high IQ player.
Yeah, they've got the Stone Shaper in the offhand, which, you know, actually in their inventory, not even in the offhand. And I'm wondering why they're still running around with the Tempest, because it doesn't really give you any advantage. They might just be prepping their mechanics for when they can run ambidextrous, and they can switch between Tempest and get that. Oh, you just get blown up there, don't you? I really think that they're prepping their inventory management for that, because if you have that Tempest on first level, you can use your Wind Shears for extra movement, and then you can move into a Stone Shaper to just shockwave somebody. It's possible, right? That's what they're practicing for, because I don't really see a lot of merit to running the Tempest in the offhand in most situations, especially with the build they're running.
Yeah, we'll see if Kamsky, what he's got himself into right here is he hits a beautiful frost shot directly into the opponent, knows this guy is low, is trying to secure the kill, but the firewall is just blocking him from finishing. And now he's getting up the side. He's just totally confident in himself as he positions open field. No worries in his mind as he looks to try to hit this angle, sees that somebody's right on top of him, but you made the mistake of challenging Kamsky, as now he's going to be the one getting run down by Kamsky himself. Throwing out the quick shot here, gets the connect, and he does not miss those. Ilya will eat that one to the face as Kamsky just repositions back into the high ground, connects again. This man is unstoppable as he makes it rain. Multiple players here are taking a beating from Kamsky as he gets up onto the high ground, gets himself right up here to challenge. Oh, what a dodge out of the CC from the other player's lightning sorcery. Kamsky just always on his toes as the dash is going to be off cooldown again. Didn't quite get aerial enough to break up onto that high ground, so he's going to just reposition. Does have Scav fully stacked, so know that if he finishes a kill, he gets so much resources for each of these exiles. Is going to have time now to drink that armor pot, even with recovery, no thirst. Gets another flick, and oh my god, let him eat. He just cannot miss. He hits another frost shot onto the third party, and now he's getting up onto what should be Zen. Teleport coming out there. He's just getting chased down there. No stopping this man, as Kamsky will finish that kill as well. This lobby is looking all his mana classes. He's going to get third partied once again, and it's not going to stop him from playing aggressive. Sees that they're both even right now. No armor on either player. Kamsky's got his back to the storm. Jumps up with the dash. Going to be off cooldown now. Misses a couple crucial toxic sprays. Is eating some frost as well, or excuse me, some air damage, and now he's going to get up off the side, but look how low he is. Kamsky knows that the storm is going to be his downfall if he can't quite do this in time. Has 2 HP pots to drink. Recovery is doing so much work for him in the storm here. Kamsky now just backing up in mana class. This is one of the most extended fights. I might pass out as Kamsky just gets up once again, uses that Vanishing Mist twice now. What a flick off the bottom, but it's not enough. He will get finished at the very last second there. Ashen Frost does do the final killing blow.
Oh, Ashen Frost now in such a good place as well. I mean, you eliminate one of their top players in this game right now. I mean, Ashen Frost no slouched himself, showing it right there in that fight. And Kamsky's movement with that Vanishing Mist was so impressive. I mean, you know how it works. You know you can use it as like a bounce pad and you know, throw it around, but still being able to do that so quickly in so many situations, using it twice, using it 3 times, bouncing up the high ground. I mean, so many players would just try and use their levitate for it, but Kamsky doesn't want to and doesn't have to. And that's so impressive about Kamsky's toxicologist.
I just love watching Elpadog see that mist cloud. He just watches that one land, freezes it up right there. This is a funny guy himself as he's trying to hit a shot from deep, though. He's rocking that Frostborn class. He's ready to be teaching next month with that new academy system. More details on that at halftime. We will explain that as Elpadog now just repositioning. This is such a great little lesson about Frostborn in of itself. Positioning on the back, has a bit of cover for his head, but we are going to bounce around nonetheless. Try to find a fight that's going on straight up, and we get right into it. Darkbreaker's throwing some boulders, but doesn't get that one to connect. He as well is just positioning on the backside, and we see that this lobby's already down to just 6 players. It has thinned out so quickly. All of that action that we saw happening with Kamsky has resulted in a very thin lobby for the final circle. Darkbreaker's had a choice there to maybe go for a fire pickup, but he's going to stick with his wind offhand build. Very interesting for sure, as we see now Borsellino on the Stone Shaper as well. He is known for this class, known for what he can do with it, as we see him getting up off the side. Going to have 2 boulders as well. We already know how much burst that can deal as he throws one out, tries to light it on fire, sees an opponent, throws that boulder as well. Doesn't quite get it to land on fire, but hits a 44 shockwave. And now he's going to just try to chase this one out. He knows right away, though, that he cannot follow that teleport. He's playing Stone Shaper, not enough mobility or not enough work for him to push that risk. Drasticon, though, is in a fight as well. Firefly with the firewall, going to get over the top now. He's just trying his darndest to get a potion in time, but he's going to eat so much damage for that. A 44 shockwave will go right to his faces. Now he's just on half and half. Getting up now, dash off cooldown, so he will have a bit of mobility. Thirsty's going to help him out in his quest to get more armor as he gets off the side now. Mana Class, I don't think he can get away with this one.
I mean, he keeps just be able to take the potions, and now they're in the structure. The Stone Shaper is going to have a much harder time hitting their abilities because of all the structure. You can just jump on, hop off, and he's going to keep dodging the shockwaves. Will actually have lost track of their opponent. Well, their opponent has lost track of them, because I think it was a third party that came in, or there was just they just really lost track of them. So we're gonna go over back to Gigabyte, still writing their own Stone Shaper build, and has a legendary Toxic in the offhand, Spring Step Rune on the legendary, and so much in their inventory, fully read up. This guy does not stop looting. I think that's the reality situation. 3 exiles, 5 other breakers in this lobby right now, and is trying to get some damage done, but is being torn apart themselves. No more armor. Half their health gone. Gigabyte's going to be really careful about this. No matter how much mobility you have, eventually you have to land, and then you can do some damage with that Stone Shaper, get the armor back, and Gigabyte is honestly on the warpath right now. Doesn't want to get taken out by anybody. 5 players in the lobby, and he's one of them. Gigabyte, can he take another dub while everyone is fighting? Gigabyte's just healing up.
Yeah, he took a really good decision there to get the pot off. Now he just stuffs some boulders in to finish a frontside kill. Sees another fight. As you mentioned, Gigabyte does have more resources to drink, but he's going to eat a boulder for that missed position. And now he's going to go back to the trusty high ground that started this fight in the first place. Gets up off the side, does find some armor potions that he might be able to chug if he gets enough space. You see that he's using that Stone Shaper passive. An opponent sees him on the left side. You can see that, but he doesn't get hit by the frost. Nice positioning by Gigabyte to make sure that that will not land. Spring steps upwards now, throws down a beautiful double sorcery unleash, finishing another kill, and now we got 3 people left in the lobby, including Gigabyte. He can end this game now, as he's just gonna teabag and wait for the final situation, but he actually gets punished for his arrogance. Gets hit with that DF, and now it's gonna be a 1v1. Stone versus Stone, Borsalino versus Gigabyte, new versus old. Who's gonna take it in Scrim game number 2? Throws down the sorcery, doesn't quite get enough damage, but it still gets a little bit. Borsa returns fire with the shockwave. Now the boulders come out, and the close range slaps, as that will finish for Gigabyte's 2nd win in a row today. He won game 1 cleanly. Now he's taking game 2 off a 1v1. What a performance from Gigabyte.
Gigabyte was honestly playing so smart, but on the other hand, it felt so dirty. That guy's just standing. You know what? You guys fight. I'll figure it out. I thought when that 5th player dies, then there's 4 players. So everyone just takes a 1v1 and the Gigabyte cannot run anymore. But somehow it still ended up in a situation where Gigabyte can sit up on that staying high ground, throw down some Toxic, throw down some boulders here and there, and just keep on drinking those shield pots. And since none of the other players had any chance to do that, he always comes out with a health advantage. It's just unfortunate that no one punishes Gigabyte for doing this. And I honestly think that maybe he just deserves so much respect that people don't want to try and challenge him. Because a Stone Shaper waiting for you on high ground, not a fun situation to run into.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely also did a great job of managing his cooldowns. He was always throwing out sorceries the second they came up. He was not being hesitant, always using his front foot first to deal damage. We did see him actually finish a kill from deep. He had no business getting that exile, but because he played aggressive, because he played based off cooldowns, he managed to get that drop. The final kill onto Borsalino was just a nice position to run up and get those Toxic slaps when he could. Shout out to Gigabyte taking 2 games in a row here. That's a great start from a great player. And we got some chat comments here. This game scrims are so fun to watch compared to other ones. Hey, man, we appreciate that, dude. We're just putting it on for you guys. Make sure you join the scrims if you want to try getting in here and playing in some, my friend. Hit that Discord up as you see other people are doing. Gigabyte says keyboard and mouse as well, so that's great from him. He says he's actually switching off the sticks, jumping on the keyboard and mouse, and smacking these lobbies up. So major shout out to Gigabyte for that one. We also got some people saying, what's up to Timmy? What's up, Timmy? How you doing, my friend? That's another showcaster right there. If you guys don't know IX Timmy, you need to check him out. He does some great content with stack solos, does some great casting of his own. So make sure you get in on that as well. But back to this event. We got game 3 coming up, and we've seen so much action happen so quickly. I'm expecting these lobbies to continue with this fast-paced, high-mobility action. A lot of Tempests actually coming out, more so than I thought. I mean, you got to expect it when you see Ashen Frost out here, but it's fun to see for sure.
Yeah, honestly, and the builds have been relatively diverse. The only thing we're still really waiting for is a proper Frostburn build. I think everything else we've sort of seen, the Pyro, Stone Shaper, Toxicologist, even some Conduits, it's all coming out. And the Tempest, like you were saying. But yeah, that Frostborn really seems to be the lost class. It's just something that players use on the offhand to get that burst damage out. Because, in all honesty, if you are always hitting every single shot, then the Frostborn is by far just the better class because you can use it at every single range. And it always does a nice burst of damage. So, in all honesty, I get it. I get why you run it, especially with good mechanics. But it's just a shame that the class itself doesn't get as much love as it maybe deserves to.
I agree completely. We do see a couple players, though, showing it a bit of love. We got Elpadog, who's a known Frostborn player, so shout out to him for trying it out here. We did see him take a quick death there. He was positioning himself so well, but this is the problem with the Frostborn. When you play in these scrim lobbies and a player DPS checks you, realizes that you're Frostborn. If they're playing Toxicologist or Pyro, it is their mission to get in your face. It's very hard to position yourself, but if anybody can do it, it's Elpadog. That dude is a seriously talented player, and I'm excited to see him continue to play out here in game 3. Let's see what we got here, getting right into it. All sorts of fast action. Look at the kill feed just starting off so quick. And this has been a highlight, or a feature, of all of these games so far today. Fast action, quick lobbies, and big loot from these players as we get through.
Yeah, and honestly, early game and not a lot of fighting going on. It does seem like we might actually be seeing some drop spot consistency, people just not wanting to fight. But of course, there's always the exception when you get to the Golden Gigadome. There's so many chests there, so much loot there. It's hard to imagine that there's no fighting going on there. And straight away, we're jumping into a skirmish. Only 2 players right now trying to duke it out. One, the Toxicologists with the fire offhand. What are they fighting against? I haven't really seen them throw anything out. It looks like it's at least a Stone Shaper. At least has the stone gauntlet, and meanwhile they're both trying to pick up like scraps of loot to try and improve their chance of this fight. Does look like we're going to see some armor pots being drunk here, and I don't think their opponent knows where they are. As I say that, of course, straight away going to be using that vanishing mist to get even more distance, and they have given up on this loot pile right now. It's very, very, very confusing to me, because if you're going to go there, if you're going to try and take that loot pile, you got to actually try it, because now your opponent has so much time to pick it up, and you will just not be able to ever challenge them on equal footing anymore.
And now we move over to another fight. Those are some great points you bring up, but I'm sorry, we got to get right into the action as we bounce over to another scrap. Throws down the firewall. You see the ignite is ticking as this player just tries his darndest to get a pot off. Totopie is the player we got the camera on as he gets his dash rune off 2 cooldowns here. Runic Fluency is going to help him. He didn't wait long enough, though, so he still just has his stack burned. Throws down that deep range Toxic. You know that when a player's throwing that out from deep, they're just trying to DPS check. Throws a nice fireball combo, though. Kept it right on line. Saw his opponent needed to take a second to read a scroll and connects with a nice fireball. Doesn't look like Totopie is really going to want to go too far with this one, though. Just wanted to get a bit of damage off. Remember that these are not scored scrims, though. So although that would be definitely the move in a scored environment, this is all about practice. This player decided not to pick the fight, maybe deciding he wants a little bit better loot before he goes for those types of engagements. But nonetheless, this lobby continues to just get filtered out. 27 people already as we see another fight cracking off. Coach ALG just takes that teleport with the Conduit Runic charge, and now he's going to keep on moving out. I do see that we got other insane players in this lobby, so I should expect a crazy game 3 here as we see Coach ALG get around the side, does get his pot off in time. Recovery's not going to be stacked, but it's still such a great talent, even at level 1. Right into another player, though. That is a good night. Jim Kite, you have been removed. And that's going to be the end of him as the third party does follow up, though. Nice dash. He didn't get it off in time. Still took a cloud to the face. And now he's going to just try to see what he can do. Gets a 44 to connect so that it's actually equal on HP and armor. And now he sees that his opponent is actually getting third party so hard. This is the chance for Primotastic, I apologize, to get himself into a better spot now. But instead, he's going to just go for the pot. Wants to keep his eyes focused on what's in front of him. Gigabyte getting another kill as we see the shiny Keymaster dodge out from that boulder. Eats the shockwave, though, as Primotastic continues his bloodlust. doesn't get those to land as the Keymaster evades him just barely. And now we see just so many players converging on this spot. This is a feature of these solo scrims. When you as a player hear a bunch of action unfolding, you are gravitating towards it immediately. And we see these massive clashes unfold as Primotastic is actually just going to back off completely.
It is funny how it's always on the Halcyon area, though. Like, rarely do you see so many players fighting in the same area as on this central point of the map. And it's the center of the map for a reason, right? Like, that's why everyone gravitates toward that naturally as well. We will see another... Oh, Primotastic going after another enemy here, play safe. It's not going to look good for that one, because they kind of got ambushed. And Primotastic is still in a great place health-wise. Is looking around, though, for that third party, not to get caught out. But in the meantime, I think they lost track of their opponent. They lost track of their prey, because no one's healing here. They have run off. And now you got to fight the one that was trying to kill you. Now you're the hunted. But Primo obviously tries to turn that around. Throws a boulder straight into the face of them. Wall as well to cut off their escape. Have to go to the high ground. And Primotastic just rotating and taking that position so well. Nice air shot with that fireball. And then gets fourth partied again. This is the fourth different player we've seen on Primo's screen right now in this short engagement period. Uses the passive of the Stone Shaper. Gets some armor back with your Stone Skin. And will now try to actually do some damage back. But still on the run, doesn't want to take all the damage from that Toxic, but their health is dwindling. There's no way Primo's going to get away with his alive, are they? They don't have the movement runes, they don't have the movement builds to do anything. More toxic damage from that Toxic cloud. Primotastic, you're in so much trouble. You gotta do some damage back if you want to try and get out of this alive. Deter your opponent from following you is exactly what they're doing. Nice shockwaves, long lines, keeping their opponent at a distance, and now able to maybe take this large health bot. It would be really good if they get this off, but they have to be so careful about this. Okay, they're gonna have full health and a little bit of armor soon, and their opponent has indeed chosen to back off. Maybe another one came in for the third party. Going over to the next players, though, play safe, and that was a hot engagement. How are they getting away with it? It's all third-party central right now in the Halcyon area.
Yeah, that is exactly why he got away with it, though, was the third party itself that saved his life. OSK is pointing it out as well as these third parties saving our hero. So accurate right there, because that is exactly why he managed to get away with it. You did bring up a great point, though, MOC, about him making the decision to actually turn around and try to deal damage instead of just running away. That is also such a key to his survival, making sure that his opponent knows he's not going to be a free kill. It's going to be a tough engagement to keep chasing. And now we see more angles as these open up. We see Marcus, aka Apostle, a star in this community, coming out here for the scrims. Love to see it. As we already have 12 people in the game. Man of Class, what the heck is going on in Game 3? This has just evaporated as we are almost down to single digits already. I am supposed to be unbiased as a caster, but this is my favorite player, and that's player 2, as he's out here on that toxicologist coming out here, and I'm hoping he takes a dub, MOC. I'm hoping for the player 2 win.
I mean, look, we saw them make some great plays last week. Hopefully they get it repeated for them if you're a fan of them. I don't know. Like, I haven't picked my favorite just yet. I've just looked at results and see who the stats are pointing towards. And that's not player 2 so far, but they've had some good placements. So it's definitely a possibility that they take the dub here and there. Back on Primotastic, though, we know this before. Same area, same place, different players, but Primotastic still trying to run and then do damage back. It's so tough to do with that Stone Shaper. Using their sorcery nice, though, to confuse their opponent into how their arc in the air is going. But finally, there's another player that just takes them down. You can't keep running forever, Primo. This time it's going to be your doom. But they're still fighting these two players. They both were chasing Primo, and one of them feels like their kill got stolen right there. So they're gonna go straight onto this kill stealer, trying to get that last hit on them. But it's not looking that hot for either player. Both already on the health, no more armor left. And I think there was a frost shot coming in from the back, another Ice Lance. It's once again a Halcyon area central for the third-party parties. It's just an event place, honestly. I think this is where we should go for COVID, because this is where events can still happen, I guess. Group gatherings.
I guess so, as we see Flaming Dwagon, quite a username as well. I'm also going to have to cheer for this guy just based off username alone. I see people in the chat saying they love the name too. We got a new community hero here in this Game 3 situation. But nonetheless, back to the gameplay itself, we see Gigabyte fully looted up with that armor and health. He has won both Game 1 and 2. For anybody who's missed the previous matches, he has a chance now to take all 3 starting games. in the scrim. And although this is not scored, that would be quite a brag to be able to whip out that you popped off in the first 3 games, taking them all for your team. Back to player 2, though. He's got that Toxicologist. He does have Shadow Step secured, so you know that's a big moment for the Toxicologist players. He looks to try to get this shot. Nice hit for the 63. Doesn't quite get it before the teleport comes. Oh! Leaves that one through the wall now, and he might just get the assassination attempt. Player 2 making me look good by giving him the prediction, as he's now just hitting these shots unstoppable. Doesn't get either of those to land there, as he sees that he's going to have to be combating that Pyro player. We are almost down to single-digit players here as we get off the side. Look at player 2 getting himself spaced out now. Takes that Shadow Step backwards, does look for the Outbreak tick, but doesn't get the damage increase. Now player 2 hasn't taken a single hit of damage in this engagement. Such a great display of Toxicologist play as he now looks to get his own Outbreak charge on somebody drinking a potion. Gets himself on the high ground, keeping himself totally spotted up here. Looks for that shot, misses just barely a couple pixels, separating him from the finish now, but sees this opportunity, and he's going to get credited with that kill onto Virilis. And now he's getting into another fight, though. Third party will not stop for nobody, as player 2 has to adjust himself. Does have Thirsty, so he's going to take a risky pot here. This is extremely bold, and he manages to get away with it. This is a game-changing moment for him to be able to take some time to pot up. There's 8 people left in the game, as he's going to actually go to an even safer spot. Great move from player 2 as we move around.
Yeah, it's right now really going to be a problem where you look at all these players that are left, and they're starting to drink their pots. I don't think there's any armor pots again left in the game, and this time there's 8 players left. That's quite a lot for no armor, but they still have their armor. As I say, of course, straight away they lose their armor right in this one, and they're going to try and take the engage regardless. I mean, you kind of have to. With that Tempest builds, oh, you're going to be in so much trouble if you can't use your mobility. You have to heal up right now, otherwise you're going to have no chance whatsoever. Tries to almost jump into a Toxic Cloud. Will get away from that one. Of course, not taking any damage from it. And now they're still looking for some hits. They're looking for, most of all, not to be hit, to be honest. Ice Lance is flying all over the place. And right now, all you have to do is not die. I mean, it sounds simpler than it is. But with all this mobility from the Tempest, they can just get to this top of this tower. And who else can get here? How much mobility you need for this? Oh, the answer is a lot. There's not really any structure near that can help you get up there quicker. And this will be a perfect place to just chill, look down, and wait for the fights to ensue.
Right as you finish that too, we see Croza take a couple glorious crouches to the ground, and now we see a challenger try to actually shake up the high ground, but he's not going to get away with it. We see Flaming Dragon taking down player 2. I will never get enough of saying that username as we now see the fight continue. The Toxicologist making a very great chase onto Croza, the Tempest player, and we'll see who actually prevails in here. Toxicologist knows that Croza is looking for that high ground, but he's just making sure all the crevices are checked. Gets jumped on from the backside, eats a huge Toxic spray, but gets one of his own. 67 for the rip onto Croza. Now looks for the kill shot. Way too far off the right side. Unfortunate. Couldn't quite get the final lethal drop. And we see just 5 people left in the game with such a massive circle. This game has dropped so quickly, and we're about to see an end game fight at the very rip here. Croza does go down, though, staying calm under pressure. Cozy does not get shaken up, watches Croza dash into his face, and deals out 2 Toxic Sprays to take the fight. Down to just 3 people now. We see Streamer Mode taking down Cozy on the third party. Flaming Dragon has a chance to maybe get that right. Sees a Frostborn, though, looks for the quick angle now. Gonna actually trade directly into his face. Flaming Dragon showing no fear as he actually just keeps this going. Does get returned on by the Toxicologist player, and he misstepped with that missed fireball. It's gonna be a 1v1 to take the final fight here in game 3 of the scrims. Who do you guys got in chat? Give me some guesses on who's going to take this 1v1. Man of Class, we're going to leave this one up to you to finish us off here as he gets hit with it.
Oh, he does get hit. It's already over. You drop it to me as the final hit lands. Play safe. It's just too late. Unfortunately, that will be the end of the game. And I mean, we got a new champion, at least for this scrim game, because Gigabyte was, of course, earlier eliminated by Flaming Dragon. Honestly, you cannot even say with a straight face or with a normal voice. I can't say Flaming Dragon without going into a weird voice. I'm sorry Sorry, it has to be. But I mean, he went for it. And honestly, if you're gonna take a name like that, you're just doing us a favor, because I was actually laughing at some point. I wasn't even looking at the screen because PlaySafe said Flaming Dragon again, and it was just too much. It was just too much. I'm sorry, couldn't.
I was just reading the names, man. It's just my job, just trying to keep these people correct.
Flaming Dragon, it's great. No, it was Flaming Dragon. It's definitely it's his name. You have to pronounce it. I'm totally with you there. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of disappointed that he didn't get it, because of course he was the one that dethroned Gigabyte, got that final hit on them, and then they just got sort of dumpstered in the end there. It was kind of a bit of an anticlimactic ending because it just stopped. And that's the beauty of Spellbreak. Sometimes these fights just keep going because both players keep missing shots, or dodging shots rather. And then every now and then you just get a few toxic sprays just in a row, like slap, 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 and it's done. And that was exactly how that fight ended. I'm going to say it was a bit of a weird ending, but it was a good one nonetheless.
Something I also want to remind people of, I mean, you just brought it up right there, talking about missing a bunch of shots in that crucial moment. But something I want to remind viewers at home is when you're in that 1v1 situation in a BR game, especially like Spellbreak, when you start taking damage, your screen starts flashing from the visual effects, there's actually a lot of pressure on you to continue staying calm. And it's very hard to maintain perfect aim and positioning while these all external factors are unfolding on you. Great final fight we saw there. We are going to get into game 4 quite soon here, and then we'll take a quick halftime break. But I also want to say thank you to First for those bits. God bless you, my friend. Thank you for that sweet, sweet support, and we appreciate it all. We are looking to get into game 4, though, soon as possible, and these scrims continue to unfold. We have had some pop-in lobbies as Brett follows it up with 100 bits. Oh, my goodness. Coming out from an Element moderator himself. We're getting support from our own team right now, and let's go.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because as we announced, like in the stream as well, we're now not throwing everything in their prize pool anymore. Like, because as much as we love to support the players, as much as that's a great thing to do, we also really want to improve more about what we can do with the production, improve more what we can do in terms of staff. So yeah, all of like the 30% of the donations that we are taking, it's not just like, oh, we're buying soup with it. That's not what's happening. No, we're pouring it right back into getting you more quality production, better streams, more streams, and to just make this entire community, this entire initiative even better than it already is. So don't you worry about a thing, because everything is just going to be all right, I guess. Yeah, that's where we're at, right?
100%. I'm just taking my 30% and I'm buying another Toronto Raptors jersey, guys. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm going to show up next week with another jersey on the back, and there's nothing I want to hear from you guys. I'm just joking. As Manaclass said, we will be re-splitting up these new funds, making sure we get the production as high quality as possible. All sorts of things going on in the background for Element right now. You guys saw that announcement today about the Academy practice coming out. That's going to be a great event. Hit !Academy and you will get a nice link to all information about that one. More focused towards newer players or more experienced players who want to learn the ins and outs of the classes. But nonetheless, I highly recommend you check out that event. Thank you, Jovan, for hitting the command. And we got all sorts of Shoppy saying, someone divert the funds to get PlaySafe a green screen. Oh my God, I would love a green screen. Look at Man of Class's background. He's outdoing me right now. He's on the HoloLens, live casting from the HoloLens, man.
I mean, look, those are types of upgrades that we basically be making, right? So like, it's not about buying PlaySafe as next dinner. It's rather about getting PlaySafe, something like a new microphone or a green screen. Like that's what we're looking at. And a Raptors jersey, we know that PlaySafe is a biased person. We talk about Player 2 all the time. Talks about the Raptors like there's no other team on the earth. It's not that simple, right? So we're not going to support that. We're going to rather support him trying to be less biased in the future, maybe. I guess as caster, that's how we be. But you know what? We got one more game before we actually take a break, because we have been talking like it's been a break, but so far, we've just had so many good games already. PlaySafe.
I know, and I always need these breaks, man, because these fights have just been so continuous. Every lobby, it's a continuous funnel of players into each other. We saw the fight with Kansky where he took on about a 6th party or something along those lines. Also, thank you, Proletariat Chrism, for the subscription. We appreciate it, my friend, and we appreciate your work on this beautiful game as we try to show off a Game 4 coming up. You mentioned that we do have a halftime as well. That'll just be a 5-minute little break as we let the players de-stress and the casters de-stress just a little bit as well. #FeedSafe2020. Look what you've started, Man of Class. It's all
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, they all want to give you food. I don't agree with it. If anyone's gonna get food, it's me. But no. It's I already got the green screen. I got to go to Mike. I don't need anything else. Just give me the food. That's all good. I'll take the jersey. I don't know. It's all good. I mean, talking about food, if you had the green screen and the mic play safe, what food would you buy?
Poutine. Come on, you can't test me
Poutine?
like that. You knew you'd
Yeah.
throw me in the Canadian spot right there. That's poutine on rip. No
I
question.
mean, do we even count poutine as something you have a choice for? Like, can you get
true.
more creative than poutine, or is it just basically all you guys eat at this point?
I want everybody to quickly hit Google and look up Beaver Tails Canadian dessert. I'm not going to do any more explaining, but that is the food I'm going to go for. It is literally fried dough covered in either chocolate, maple syrup, or other sweets. So give that a go. We got somebody saying Putin ? What? There's some more chat interaction going on, so it's a broadcasted scrim when we got this one going on. Texas A&M logos. Poutine is top notch. I got some agreement from all sorts of people. Proletariat Andy chiming in and saying it's basically an elephant ear. I don't know if you mean an actual elephant's ear or if that's another type of dessert, but I'm hoping it's the latter as we look for Game 4 to start. An extended break. It's a longer break when we start talking about food, MOC.
Oh, it is. You know that's how it be. But you know what? If we have time anyways, and we're going to be talking about food, then why do we have to talk about food? We can talk about so many other things. I mean, we already started talking a bit about the patch. It's coming up in a few days, and it's to me, it's not just that we're gonna get we're gonna get new talents, we're gonna get some new consumables. Like, that's all good and well, but how about Clash play safe? How about that game mode coming in 9v9? Going at it, you time up your disposal. I mean, that's going to be super exciting as well.
I mean, Clash, the last time it was in the game, I enjoyed that game mode so much. It was, even if you wanted to play BR for the day, it's still enjoyable to hop in Clash and do it like a warm-up, because it is consistent fighting. Even if you get third party, it does not matter, because you respawn in just a second. I cannot wait for that game mode to drop. I can't wait for that whole patch to drop. In the previous halftime / breaks, we did talk a little bit about the talents coming in, but overall, just the influx of new content, I'm excited to see it. The chapter system, all sorts of other things going to be unraveling right in front of us. And we are still waiting for that Game 4 to start. I'm trying my best to not bring the conversation back to food, because that is immediately where my mind continues to go.
I'm sorry I started it. I'm sorry I started it, man. Like that, every now and then you just gotta. I've already had my fill, so I'm good for today, but I can imagine that you might have a little hunger boiling up right now. Like, instead, so if you were like actually to live in the HoloLens, like, I'm already here, so I can tell you how it is, but I'm gonna let you speculate, right? Where would you live in the HoloLens?
I've actually thought about this question before, and it's Ruby Grove. It is the most beautiful scenic location, all sorts of different places for me to lounge around, different high grounds for me to spectate the map at. Ruby Grove for sure, man. But I got to bounce that question to you. What would be your location you'd stay at? Also, no, this is not pre-recorded. If this was pre-recorded, I want everybody to leave. If this is what we do on a pre-recorded video, then this is not it. You guys would have to leave. No, this is live for sure. But anyway, I'm going to bounce it over to you. Where would you live on the HoloLens?
I mean, I like being central. I like being connected to everything. I'll just go for Halcyon, like straight in the middle. It's on the fort, my castle, because they always say, your own house is your own castle. I want my castle to be my castle. I think that's way simpler to do it. I'm not a materialist, but I like things. That's how it be. I also see someone asking, like, what jersey are you buying me? So I live in Europe. And it's not like jerseys aren't a thing here, but if you're going to buy me anything like an American jersey, I will not care, because I don't know anything about sports in America. Like, I know they exist. I know what the sports are, but I have no idea about any team's players, barely how games work, essentially. So you wouldn't be doing me a favor, but if you're going to be buying me any jersey, I don't know, like, figure something out from the Overwatch League, maybe. It's my background, so I would like those. And honestly, if I have to import one, that's very, very expensive, because import tax is the thing. Let's keep it at that.
Yeah, I am very familiar with import taxes living up here in Canada. I am on the same boat as you. But anyway, we are still just waiting for this Game 4 to start. The queue must not have been sniped properly or something along those lines. Apologize for the extended break, but apparently, as I say that, we are into Game 4. So enough of our rambling, and we are right back into the real star of the show, and that is some broadcasted Spellbreak gameplay. Look at this, the first fight, Twitch McScraggy, interesting usernames. He tries to get a Frostborn shot. We were talking about seeing Frostborn out here, really exciting. Doesn't have a rune charge though, so he's at a major disadvantage in this early fight. Does get a charge, and it's a shadow step. That's massive as a belt drops too. You cannot imagine a better set of chests to pop early in the game for McScraggy, as now he's going to get a scroll as well. Doesn't look like his opponent really wanted to fight there. Maybe he saw the blue belt pop out of the chest and just said, forget about it, as he's going to rotate around.
And then leaving that epic Tempest on the ground there, that's exactly what you'll always see. That just shows you how unconfident and how little value players put in an air gauntlet in the offhand. It just doesn't do enough. It has no function for you unless maybe with Ambi. Now we're coming in a post-fight situation where, I mean, he's got an exile, so something went down here, but we will never know what, because all we can do is read the kill feed. So we're going on to the next one, straight up to the Golden Dome up north, and then back over down to the next village. It is all over the map. We're just trying to find someone that's doing something interesting right now, play safe, but it doesn't seem to happen because these player counts aren't going down. As I stated, of course, to get back to Primo Tastic, I mean, if there's one thing we know about Primo, every time we get on them, they are fighting and then running away from someone, and then fighting back, and then running away from someone. But this time around, they're taking a bit more of a direct engagement. The only thing they're really making sure of is that they have the high ground advantage. Very important, of course, if you are a Stone Shaper, you never want to have your opponent above you, rather below you. And they are getting a few good shockwaves off, but that's just a nice fireball in your face. That's yeah, I mean, Dex gets that one off, gets the kill there.
It was so close though. We all saw that fireball miss right after the boulder, and that would have been the kill shot onto Darkbreakers, but it doesn't land, and instead Darkbreakers feeds him 3 straight fireballs to take that fight as he's recharging mana. Unfortunate, but still a great execution from Darkbreakers to stay calm. As we get over to another angle, this is Twitch ARG Joker playing from Argentina, by the way. Shout out to all the South American Spellbreak players as we see ARG Joker get hit with a bit of CC now. No Harmony to block that from fully connecting, as now he's actually going to get jumped on. Quick little spring step though. Nice work from him to try to get a bit of area to work with. Gets a flick 2 for 43. Boulder doesn't land, and now a nice firewall comes out from his opponent too to continue the pressure. ARG Joker is doing his best to split this fight, but it is not going to do it enough. He actually watches his opponent shock himself, so that's going to be a lucky break for him. Might get a bit more area to work with as he uses that Toxic Cloud to get a bit of space. And now he continues to S-key backwards with that Stone Slam, doing a nice job of mixing in a couple Toxic Sprays to shake up the verticality. Now he's raining down shockwaves from that top position, sees his opponent go for the high ground, but ARG Joker has just done a great job of thinning down his opponent's HP pool as he runs away. He's not as scared of this opponent as his opponent should be scared of him, as he continues to S-key, watches his opponent get caught in a third party too, and ARG Joker is going to crouch down in this little shrubbery and get some pots to drink, man of class.
The most beautiful thing about that is the constant use of the spring step to get over those sorcery charges, over the walls, over everything. Now tries to boulder their opponent out of the sky, hits them with the spray in the end. This is just a, someone trying to just float in the sky with their sorcery. But ARG Joker is not going to get hit by any of it. Has healed up, has got the armor back, and now their opponent is in dire straits because they didn't get a chance to heal as much. They got a early first shot, and now ARG Joker is the one chasing them. No more S-key for ARG Joker. It's W key time, and the third party that was trying to come in is now going to get fourth party back. It's insane how much damage ARG Joker is able to put out. Gets a nice Toxic Spray to finish it off, and now goes straight back to their other opponent. They think he's taking some damage. Well, no way. Barely lost half the armor. Lose a bit more because of that beautiful lightning strike, but right now all the balls are in their court, and by balls of course I mean the huge boulders that they're gonna get charged up from that Stone Shaper, chasing down their opponent with a toxic spray. But unfortunately their opponent has a little bit more mobility, so it's tough to keep up. The heals try to come out, but play safe. He's not going to be able to easily keep up and try to hit those stone shapes because they constantly have this high ground disadvantage.
Yeah, well, he's doing such a good job of staying on this track, though. He only has a spring step, which gives you good mobility, but it's not like a dash, which is what he's contending with. He's still managing, though, to keep his eyes locked on this opponent, making sure he's following him close enough to keep the pressure on. But look at that dash. Just as we say it, it shows how hard it is to deal with if you have spring step. And the Stone Shaper's not doing him any favors when it comes to distance mobility. Now he's just trying to make it rain and keep that DPS check. Gets a very lucky connection from deep, and now ARG Joker's looking to finish this kill. We know that it should just be one more slap to go. Sees that his opponent's actually going to turn it now, but it's too late for you, my friend. ARG Joker put on the pressure and is going to get all legendary loot from that one. Great start for him. He probably will take that dash room, but we'll see when we bounce back to him later in the game, as we got other fights to attend to. We are back to Flaming Dragon. Let's go. See if he can pull out another great game. I mean, he had a solid performance in Game 3. Couldn't quite take the win, but still nonetheless showed up to play. We keep on bouncing over here as we see these players just looting up. I'm a big fan of this skin, by the way. I know we're probably going to bounce on with the loading screen very soon, but just to put it out there, I'm a big fan of this skin as he sees, he's just sitting on the side of the storm, doesn't actually engage onto anything too far, but sees somebody potting and wow, goodbye. Just pops him with 2 straight fireballs. Lanky C Moose will fall, as now we see him try to keep his work up. Jorgensen is going to throw down that sorcery. Doesn't get it to land. The fireball will not either. Now he's going to take a Firefly through the top side. Does have Shadow Step off cooldown, so you know he's going to be able to burn that when he needs to get close. Nice Fireball at the feet to hit for 31 total. Looking at it now, sees the teleport come through, and another death right in front of him. We see Marcus, aka Apostle, finishing the kill onto Breezy as we're getting down to just 15 people. Nice flick, as Jorgensen just keeps on the pressure. Man of class. He needs to try his best to get into somebody's face right now. This is just, he's awkwardly being pushed away from all of the action.
Yeah, he's trying to get 1 kill, and then they run away, and then he tries to turn on someone else who's then running away from them. He never really has that early hit, but this might be the time. But now he's losing so much health. He just gets blown up right now. Oh no, that was your moment. You finally were on top of somebody and just got blown up. Now we are gonna get onto Darkbreaker here. He gets the gets some heals off, does some reading. Doesn't have quite a lot of scrolls read, and with this later circle and only 12 breakers in the game, that's maybe not as great, especially if you're missing some of that fervor talent. That's really the one that's completely empty right now.
Yeah, he's getting jumped on right away, though. You see that off the top, he gets hit with some toxic slaps, and now Darkbreakers just turns the fight with no fear. If you're going to challenge Darkbreakers, you better come to play. As he hits another fireball from far, it actually bounced off the side of that wall, and now he's going to launch a flaming boulder into the distance. Probably not going to connect with that, considering how far it is and how far he didn't have line of sight over, but he still will chase. Flight Rune is going to give him a lot of mobility to work with. The 17-second cooldown is not doing him any big favors, though, as Flaming Dragon continues to take kills, and we are about to get into single-digit lobby as Darkbreaker sees another player jump right onto him. The CC is also going to hurt him, and he's getting popped. That's going to be the end of his life. Marcus, aka Apostle, showing you guys a surgical kill onto the Darkbreakers. CC lock, focus mana damage, drop that man quick, as we are officially down to single digits in this game 4.
Oh, I see you mispronounced that Dwagon. There ain't no R in that. OSK calling you out there, play safe. Unfortunately, you tried to do it, grammatically correct, but not as it was spelled in that one. ARG Joker still in this game trying to get some work done, but there we are on Flaming Dragon. They're just running around the map with the conduit and the fire offhand. I love seeing this build, honestly. It's so it just reminds me so much of just Avatar, Avatar: The Last Airbender, just the firebenders with their lightning strikes. It's amazing to see. And now we're gonna see Flaming Dragon try to get to this last zone and trying to get the W with that exact same mentality. Has a blue Springstrap, not the greatest rune to have in your inventory, but at least you'll be able to dodge a lot of sorcery with it.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Flaming Dragon making some good decisions with his build right there. We see Virilis, on the other hand, taking some shots from deep. We see this often with players once they get broken down with the armor. They just try to make sure they can do what they can sitting at a distance. He's rocking Fortitude, Recklessness, Focused Mana. Such an interesting build. Maybe that's why he's actually going for the no belt. I didn't realize that. He's definitely going for the glass cannon build. This is intentional as he hits a dinger from deep onto that Keymaster. Gonna go for that kill shot, but doesn't get it to land. Sees this opponent who has no idea he's there. Virilis doing a great job of taking a shot and then breaking line of sight so he doesn't get spotted as easily. He knows that if somebody gets up onto his face, he's most likely dead. Focused Mana, Fortitude with no belt. You have very little mobility without runic fluency, no teleport, so he's got to be careful with his positioning. We see the top of the side now. Wumpski getting up in there with a 71 slap, follows it up with another Outbreak kick. He's actually assassinating this opponent, but he eats a massive flaming bolt that ignites the cloud to hit the DF. And now Wumpsky's without armor. He's actually going to go for a drink now. Got that Thirsty 1 stack, so it's going to help him go through those pots quickly. Flaming Dragon gets a kill with the fire. Now we see Wumpsky once again shadow stepping up top. Goes off the ground now, gets hit with some unlucky CC. He did not register that one getting dropped. And now Wumpsky is going to actually drink his last armor pot. We know how difficult it is to find resources in the final circle, and Wumpsky has officially finished off his last armor potion unless he can find more, and that is a tough task in these final circles.
Yeah, gonna now go to a Tempest build. It's actually online in the game still. 0 exiles, but still alive. Part of the last 7. Go straight for a nice Ice Lance, trying to get someone off the high ground. But with a Tempest, all they're trying to do is stay away from fights. It's working out pretty well so far. Apparently, they haven't taken much because they still have some armor in the belt. They're still just running around with their with the good loot, and they don't have to take anything. But that's a snipe that Chomsky's gonna be remembering for the rest of the night because that just hurts.
Yeah, that is the Glass Cannon Frost build that we have just been watching. That's the result of it. He gets tapped right there from Virilus from deep. And now Virilus is actually on the back foot here, getting chased down. As you know, he has no belt to work with, so he's going to have to go for some sort of kill shot from deep. He went for it right there, doing a nice job of actually misdirecting his opponent, taking the Vanishing Mist plus the ST to go backwards. Flaming Dragon looks like he's getting more kills with the Lightning as we see Virilus trying to position himself, but the Lightning is going to be his actual downfall. When you play a build like this, that Lightning damage is just so effective. But look at Virilus playing with no fear! He just sat him down! And that was an insane play coming out from Virilus to kill off Marcus AK Apostle. Oh my goodness!
And that was all Marcus' way. He had them down to 1 HP, just try to dunk on them from that high ground. But you know what? Virilus says no. That Glass Cannon build indeed does so much extra damage. It's not the same amount of time, but Marcus missing that last shot like 4 times is just going to be their downfall. That's unfortunate, if to say the least. 2 other breakers, and I think that Flaming Dragon is still in the lobby. Someone's getting assaulted here, but there might be another kill. They might get another one. They're both so low, but of course when you're on low health, you're going to be super happy. You do extra damage, and they die to the storm. It's a 1v1 to finish it off. The Glass Cannon's still alive. That will be something we see this win. Even picks up a better Frost Gauntlet now. This is going to be amazing to see. Last fight, the Conduit wins it, and it's Flaming Dragon that takes the W.
Yeah, that was unlucky for Virilus, but we got to give credit to Flaming Dragon for being in position to take that kill and take the win. I know that we all in our hearts wanted to see Virilus pop off for the W with that no belt build, but we got to give credit where credit is due. Flaming Dragon manages to suppress the high damage build coming out from Virilus, and that is going to wrap up game 4. What a beautiful start to the first half of these broadcasted scrims. Thank you everybody for being here and supporting us as we get through these games. A halftime break will be coming up shortly, but we just wanted to remind you guys at home about a little change to the Element system. Previously, we had 100% of donations going towards prize pools. We want to be completely transparent with the community as to where the donations go. So now 70% of your donations, bits, and subscriptions will go towards prize pools. The other 30% will go towards funding new production upgrades, such as green screens, cameras, mics, and all sorts of other projects to increase the content we can bring to you guys. At the end of the day, it is still all being sourced towards bringing you the stuff you desire, but we just wanted to be fully transparent with where the donations are going. You can see all of those details in the bottom of the panels as well, but that's just something we had to update you guys on before we go to halftime. Going to be a 5-minute break, and then we will be back with 4 games to go. We are back from a short little halftime break, a 5-minute little separation from the first 4 games and the second 4. So to remind you guys, it's 8 total games, and we're about to get into the back half here. Man of class, anything you're expecting for the second part?
I'm expecting more crazy plays because we've seen very interesting builds, especially that last game. That was insane. Seeing that Glass Cannon build get so far and just actually dumpster a few players that thought they had it. I mean, you were actually lost your mind over that play with Marcus where you're just trying to, I have this. He's like, that sliver of HP. I'm just going to dunk him in from the high ground, every advantage possible. but it just wasn't enough because somehow with the mobility and the extra damage that you get from having no armor, it was just Realists that came out on top, and it was beautiful to see. They didn't quite win the game, but we said it in the break. There's no losers there because either you have the amazing build that wins, or you have Flaming Dragon that takes it away. Already the community hero of the night with that name. I mean, there's nothing we can do anymore. Like, I know you were biased towards Player 2, but I mean, yeah, you gotta have a new favorite now, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I think as well with that Marcus play, and we kind of did talk about it a bit on the break, but these players, you got to think, have played so many hours of the game. Marcus is so used to taking those engagements, and then he gets hit with a player with recklessness. I think he maybe just wasn't expecting that. It's very hard to know exactly what build they're running when you damage check. He was not prepared for that Virilis quick turnaround, but still massive credit to Virilis for pulling it off and also pulling out an unorthodox build in the scrims. Game 5 should be starting here shortly. To remind you guys, we are still on the same server, and that is NA East. So these players will still have that consistent ping, and there's not too many changes. In the usual events, when it's not a scrim, we do move over to EU in the second half. But today, the players do not have to worry about that. They can just hang out. Also, for anybody looking for the song title, Tilly has found it is Evan King Guardians. I know a couple people were asking about what the title to that song was, and she has done the research for you guys. So that's perfect.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to go onto the Shazams and figure it out, or wherever you found it. It's great to find the song titles. I always hate it when I hear a song like, oh, I really want this, and then I can't find it, and then either you don't take your phone out quick enough or anything like that. So it's great if you get someone to do that research for you, and that's what you like, to have a community that does it for you, so you can just sit back and enjoy every piece of content that comes your way. Now, when we look at those things, though, you see that interesting build from Rilis coming out. That's the exciting part about the future of Spellbreak, because we've seen it from the devs. They said it in their roadmap. They're saying, you know what? It's not just that we're adding more talents, like we might be changing some numbers, and there's more and more talents coming out. We might actually rotate them in and out. So we force metas by telling you what you can and cannot play at certain times. Like, imagine right now if they had rotated out recovery, runic fluency, and scavenging. Imagine if that was the thing right now. That would be so interesting, because everyone that's playing right now is running at least one of those 3 talents most of the time. And yeah, that would be a super interesting meta switch. And of course, that's not the case right now, but that's definitely something we're looking forward to. So those type of situations where you cannot be ready for someone's build, they're going to happen more often in the future, as we run straight away into a beautiful situation where you just see a Frostborn running for the hills on the Alacrity, doesn't want to get finished off by the player that's apparently chasing them because they already took half their health away.
Yeah, Hickory K just going for a run here. Frozen Alacrity going to help out that speedy speed. Already has a blue ice as well, so going to be doing pretty good for loot. Finders Keepers is on the talent selection, getting ready for that Finders Keepers buff that should be coming up soon. We're going to keep on moving around, though, trying to find these early fights. You know, compared to the first 4 matches, seems like there's a little bit less death and destruction right off the bat. We saw such quick fights at the start of games 1 to 4, and we are back over now to a little bit slower start. You see this player right here got that wolf's blood, going to be drinking a pot. Looks like they might be taking a fight. Yeah, you see somebody walking up. The lightning damage will be burned. Nice sorcery drop from them as well, as they look to maybe finish this kill. Wolf's blood's going to come out as well as they go straight to the exchange. Man of class. Do you think this is going to turn into a third-party situation? This looks a little bit stretched out.
When you do see someone else coming in, they can see they indeed from the Wolf's Blood rune, and now we're going to be on so low health. That is the third party you need that gets that last hit, and they might be finishing off the next kill as well, because look how low this one is. There's another player. Oh, sometimes, some way, you just don't get lucky with the situation you're in, and you should not have taken that engage. But now, going back to Bastion LMAO, they are the ones that clean up everything in that village. Beautifully done from them. Have the Pyromancer build this time around with the Ice Lance in the offhand. And as we jump around to the map looking for more engagement, we do indeed see it's the same Frostborn we saw earlier on. Just as finally managed to run away, heal up a little bit, get some more loot on, got the stone in the offhand, was actually looking for a player, now gets ambushed with a fire nado. Barely takes any damage from that, lucky for them, but now they really have to be careful. Nice sorcery charge in order to take away that instant burn. And with all the mobility, I don't think anyone's going to be able to catch up with them, but that is honestly not a good way to play the game, because eventually you're going to get caught out, and they have no belt still even.
And I think that's even worse for a Frostborn player, because if you run into another guy, you fly out of one fight and you run into another scrap, you might just be playing directly into a melee to melee fight and you're playing Frostborn. So that is just not ideal, but at least they got away with their life. So Hickory K is going to stay alive and we're going to see this game continue to unfold. Varillis is back on the build that did him so well in game 4. That is the no belt full damage with the frost, and we see another ARG player, so another South American player, ZZ Sparky. Seen him out in multiple events before, definitely a talented gamer to watch out for, and we're going to keep on sliding around. Looks like Kalku faded, finished off a kill, and is now just looking for some loot, but this is a much, much slower game. We see this player here just waiting for the mana vault to pop, seeing if they can get any loot. But again, there's just no direct engagements that have unfolded into large third-party situations. We saw that in games 2, 3, and 4, but we do see a fight here with Paralysis. I cannot pronounce that word for the life of me today, but nonetheless, I'm just going to let him do the talking for me as he shows off with his gameplay, throwing out a bit of lightning, but he's really playing line of sight here, Man of Class.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, all those trees in the way is definitely a good position to be in if you're fighting against more of a ranged opponent. With that Stone Shaper and that Frostborn, depending on which class they are. It looks to be the Frostborn because the Alacrity coming out, so a Stone offhand. They are still not taking any damage, but at least their opponent's doing a really good job of keeping their distance. Now, though, the distance is being covered. Nice fireball mid-air, and the Stone Shaper is trying to get the Stone Gauntlet's trying to get some hits off. Even gets a nice Ice Lance in their face. Uses the quick freeze in order to be able to heal up a little bit or take no damage, and then just flies away. That distance has now definitely been growing, but there's a third party coming in play save. This fight is not over by a long shot, and who's going to come out on top? Because there's 3 players, and only 1 can stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Para actually did get a good new angle into this fight, though. You mentioned that third party came in, but look, he actually didn't get touched too hard, managed to drink enough potions, but he watches the final kill. The roaming gnome was the one who third partied in that situation, taking down Scraggy. And now Para is going to take a second here to just loot up, look for a better rarity on the Toxic, achieves it with a blue, and is just looking at this loot pile menacingly. Doesn't actually move to rotate onto it or anything, but sees the opponent now. That is the roaming gnome, throwing some deep Toxic, and they're going to trade now. Fireball's coming out, but nothing landing off direct. Para now just moving off to the side, going to look for a fire wall if they can. Not going to actually burn that cooldown. I was expecting a sort of AoE like that actually turned out to come from his opponent. He's going to hold on to those cooldowns for an extended period of time. I can't say I agree with this. Sometimes you just have to dump your damage, and there it goes, but he doesn't actually capitalize off of it. Now Para's in trouble as they're just going to go for airshot to airshot. Nice hits, though, as he gets some more ignite damage onto his opponent. Now we both know that both players are low, 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 and Para's just needs one more hit to finish it, but he can't quite seem to track it down. AoE comes out now, and this looks like the end of it, Man of Class. I think he can finish this.
It does, but Para's had such weird choices in terms of movement, in terms of what he's going to do at what moment in time. Does finally get that last hit, but with the way they've been playing so far, it doesn't look like they're going to get very far in this game right now, because they're jumping against the Frostborn. I see Zen complaining about that in the chat. You know, if they Ice Lance you in the air, it's easier. If you're on the ground, they're easier to dodge. You're much more mobile. You're taking very long to get into that third party, meaning your opponent could have healed up. Maybe didn't take enough damage. You can't get any extra damage in. Holds onto the sorceries for forever. So it's really a lot of choices there that don't combine to what we call championship play. They do eventually win out that fight, but that's more on the back of their opponent hitting fewer shots than it is on him making the right choices there, I'm feeling.
Yeah, now we see Tacos himself coming out here. Tempest Master, trying to show off those mechanics with that Spring Step as well. Woo! You know that he's most likely looking for a dash. That's the ideal rune for the Tempest. But he actually has Spell Slinger, so he's taken a very different approach to the usual Tempest build with that Spell Slinger choice. Now we get over to Wubs at Wizdub, taking 2 fireballs. Has no armor, but does have some potions he might be able to drink if he can find room for it. Does shake off his opponent far enough to get a small pot. The big pot now coming in, or excuse me, that's a small HP pot, and there comes the large armor. So we know this is the riskiest moment. He's the most vulnerable when he's drinking that pot. He actually decides to cancel it, in fact. Now he's going to go for that reset. 20 people left in the game, and he's just hiding in the corner, MOC, very scared about what might come out to get him. And now we see it out on the side, the lightning damage breaking off now. Firewall going to come down, but it's not that close. Wizdub is just getting pushed in off the pressure. Springstep going to come off cooldown, looks for the burn now, tries to get a quick shockwave to damage, but he's getting pushed on, and the boulder will do damage, but it won't save your life. MOC, he is just in trouble in this engagement.
Yeah, it's definitely just keeping the dart around this structure, and is not going to be able to get away alive from that one. That is SK Rainbow Cake taking away the cake there. Rainbow Cake or Rainbow Drake? It's really cool. Jake even. Wow. See, that's it. I can't read the names every now and then. It's on me. I'm sorry, guys. This is the quality of my display, I guess. But we're gonna just jump on to the next person, who is still trying to find some more exiles. Only got one on the board, and we got 13 breakers in the lobby. We're getting to a fairly small circle for that amount of players, but circle hasn't closed yet, so still some time for exiles to happen as we just go on to the next one. Toxicologist with the ice offhand. Nicely done, because they've also got the wow, was that a hit? Who was a hit?
No, I believe somebody else actually connected there, because you didn't see the damage tick. Spectator bug is live, but that bug does not exist. So somebody else actually landed the shot. Friv SQ did not hit that.
Yeah, I mean, they're still running the Shadow Step rune, which obviously gives them extra invisibility for the outbreak later on. But right now, they are in trouble. This area is a nice place to fight. Of course, it's on the edge of the circle. You can stop people from entering properly. And now you're going to see immediately how that works out. Dex just gets into a fight with another player to try to enter the zone in a very quick manner. Just jump straight into them, and that flick damage is all you need. The Tempest build is very good at mobility, but they are missing some damage output from a main gauntlet. Mainly they're toxic, that will have to do it in their offhand, and they have apparently been able to get away from that, but they did lose their dominant circle position. Now they have to go back outside of the storm rather than wait for people that want to get into safety.
Yeah, we see Flaming Dwagon now looking at this new high ground, getting way up off the side of the cliff. Does see an opponent at the lower spot. We are almost down to single digits in game 5. All purple loot on Flaming Dwagon, so they are in full position to maybe take another huge W here. Remember that he won game 4, I believe it was. So that is going to be a nice follow-up if he can get this next game 5 win. Now we move on to another player, Bastion LMAO. He's been in all of the scrims today, been having consistent performances, spots out this opponent through the rock actually. A little bit fishy, but I'm not going to comment on that, as Bastion LMAO now takes the dash rune over to another angle. Flaming Dwagon continues to get kills, and that marks us down to 9 total players remaining, including Bastion. He doesn't hit that frost shot onto the dashing opponent now. We see almost everybody in the final circle has their dashes or shadow steps available, so the mobility is very high for these players. Bastion takes a quick cloud to the face. The corrosion's not going to help him out, as he's now just dashing with S-key. Pyro does a lot of damage with that focus mana that you see he has, but you have to capitalize on when your mana is fully up there. Bastion didn't get it to go, and now he's on the back foot, just taking so much pressure from this opponent. That wind spam is going to hurt him, and he sees the toxic spray from a new angle. Bastion is so far in trouble here, Man of Class. I don't know if he can survive this.
Yeah, it's looking very, very dire. They don't even have any shield pots, and they couldn't even drink their health. Took another shot, trying to dodge and weave, duck and weave, get away from that. At least his ice lances cannot hit them when they're behind the wall, and they do get that heal off. But there's so much spray and damage coming their way. They need to be so careful. But with the third and fourth parties coming in, Bastion is in safety. As I say, that of course runs around the corner straight into another toxic user. Bastion LMAO cannot even get away from the toxic cloud. Is in the storm as well. Has to be so careful about this. And their movement is working out quite well. Those dash runes definitely coming into play here. But is just not able to dodge and duck and weave forever. Has to do some damage back. And this is your moment. You're now finally at a place where you have no chance to heal. So you have to start doing damage back, Bastion LMAO. But they just go to the other side of the cliff, try to run away even more with the Firefly. We're running straight into another toxic cloud. Have to combust that, make sure that that's not going to be doing them any harm. I think they're looking for some mechs, but there's just nothing around. Like, Bastion LMAO is just in so much trouble. Gets another toxic spray in their face. Is on so much low health. Has to try and heal up through their passive effects, but with the recovery, that's only going to do so much for you. At this point, Bastion is looking like they're just playing for placement, because they're not fighting at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to take these fights, but like you said, you're not getting much out of just running into new players. He does have the triple stacked recovery. You did mention that, so that's doing a ton of work in all of these situations. He's taken a couple hits, but look at that. Your recovery is not going to save you from that much burst. Dex NTS does finish the kill, takes the tornado off, and almost fractures. Get OP on the phone. We almost had a clip there. Not going to quite go, as Dex NTS will actually just die to a player. That is the Lightning finishing him off, and it is Rainbow Jake with a nice kill representing SK, as we see just 3 people left. A 1v1v1 final circle as Jake moves up, shocks himself, though. That is so unfortunate. 2 almost fractures in a very short succession, as Rainbow Jake is just going to get pushed here. He does look for the pod, but it is just too slow. He got spotted going into that section, and now it looks like both of these players are just going to focus him down. They know he's low. He might get lucky if they turn around, but we'll see what happens. This is devolving into a 1v1 with Rainbow Jake just on the side dishing the damage. And he has Firewall up in a second here. Takes a massive bit of damage off the front and gets popped. Flaming Dragon showing no fear as the 1v1 devolves here. Throws down a nice Firewall, and this is just going to come down to the last shot for the kill. The Ignite will stick. Flaming Dragon sees the Frost Sorcery, going to give his opponent a bit of invincibility. Now he's so low, MOC. That's the final shot. A stuffed Fireball to the face with focused mana for 50. That's a big dub right there in Game 5, MOC.
Gets another one as well. The back-to-back we saw earlier from Gigabyte. Now Flaming Dragon is getting them. And I mean, something that we talk about all the time is like how good Shadow Step is. Now, Dash is very valuable. Sometimes the Flight Rune works, but that Spring Step Rune, I mean, maybe not getting a lot of horizontal mobility from it, but that vertical mobility in Spellbreak is so important that Spring Step might in some cases even be better than Dash because of the way it jumps. It's a very weird movement. You can't follow it as easily. It's weird to track. Yes, it's always the same movement, but because you can always jump over sorceries reliably with it, and because the charges are so quick, Spring Step is actually such a valuable rune that you see players like Flaming Dragon, maybe they didn't find anything else, but you still see them running it in the final circle and getting so much value out of it. So that's definitely something to look out for in your own games.
Yeah, for sure. And a great point about Spring Step as well is that once you start putting in a lot of practice with the rune, it is actually, like you mentioned, it's unpredictable for the opponent following you as you jump. But once you use the rune enough, you get a sense of where you're going to land. And you see right there, he calculated his landing spot that he knows he's going to land on this guy's forehead, stuffs him with a 50 damage fireball to take the game. And that is just great execution with the Spring Step rune. To answer Zach Zabar, how many games are left? I actually believe there is 3 games remaining. I put up 4, but that's not what I meant to do. Yes,
it's
3 games.
It's 3. Yeah.
That's the end of Game 5. So we're doing 8 games total. We're actually expanding how many games we'll be playing in the scrims. Gets us a little bit more practice. Gets you guys a little bit more content. It's a win-win for everybody, MOC.
Yeah, and of course, the strategy killer complimenting on the green screen. I mean, it is awesome, but it's not a green screen. I'm actually in the HoloLens. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I guess that it wouldn't work, guys, because everyone knows that in magical places, every electronic device will just shut down. So I wouldn't be able to actually have a cam and a mic working here right now. And it's actually a green screen. It's really easily pull it down, pull it back up. You get the inside look. There's a guitar in the bed behind me. It's not really that interesting, but you know, there's things going out right there. Yeah, I mean, there's the 3 games to go still, play safe, and I feel like we've already seen so much. How much more can we handle?
I don't know if I can handle 3 more of these insane games. I mean, a constant feature of all of these matches is that they go so quick. These final circles arrive and there's almost no space, or there's too much space for these players to play with. We saw right there that there's 3 remaining. If you guys play a lot of pub games, you know that sometimes you get into the final 3 and there's no space to move. But these players just finish kills so quick in the early game that you get to the end and there's 5 people remaining in the 3rd circle. It is just so fast paced. And I'm glad we can see it coming out here as we're right onto Virilis with his classic glass cannon build. He's really patenting this one today, MOC.
And I like it as well. And the name Glass Cannon has never been more appropriate than when someone runs the Icelands. Because the Icelands is literally what it's a glass thing that you shoot, and it's like a cannon bolt, right? Like it's actually exactly what the description is. I think before though they were running the Frostborn main, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Because now they're already toxicologists. So that's the other way around. We're gonna not care about that. We're gonna go to professional noob. And it takes a lot to be a professional noob in this day and age because everyone is trying to be it so hard. That's why you have streamers. We don't actually know how to play the game, but you know we make a living out of it. It's great. But professional noob is trying to actually get the ice lances out of the sky. As the stone shaper on the main is really getting a lot of stone skin back if they would actually lose armor, but they're not being engaged on. They just get to calmly third party this fight, trying to get some value on the other players, not hitting anything though. So professional noob, you're doing it. You're making your name come true with that ice lance. Is a nice shot straight into their opponent. Finally, they've been spotted and they're going to get some challenge back. That might also mean that their opponent is going to be more susceptible to these shockwaves. Right now, play safe. This might be a finish off, but gets such a big one. I think that's for Rillis. This gets such a big, no, it's not. But that was such a huge amount of damage from that ice lance though.
Yeah, he actually got hit by multiple angles, though, and that is what is so unfortunate about that fight. It was a stone slam from the side. He had his eyes on another player, but then he got hit, like you said, with that Frost Lance from a new angle. To comment on Age of Steel, where's Mancy SB? Simply too cracked to be on stream. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen Mancy so far in these games. I'm not sure if he's in the scrim lobby itself. One thing I want to mention is that since there's a max of 42 people in the game, if we have scrims with over 40 people, it's not consistently the same group getting into the games. So maybe either Mancy is not in the scrim lobby itself, or he's not getting lucky enough to land in the port. But we apologize. Mancy SB is certainly a cracked player. We got his fans in here, but nonetheless, we're looking at Wumpski. He's taking some shots up to the top, doesn't get it to go, and now he's going to reposition. This was definitely a moment where he realized that he had a common belt, MOC. He was ready to fight, and then he looked at his inventory and said, forget about it. I need to back up.
Yeah, Mancy does look like they are at least in the Scrim voice channel, so we might see him in later games. Just an update for you on that one. I mean, there's more players that we sometimes see, sometimes we don't. For instance, Megaverse seems to have been absent from the lobbies today, so no cracked Stone Shaper replaced from them coming out. And we're just going to go further on. It's going to be back to Z Sparky from the ARG side of things. Going straight into the high ground, has the classic Tempest build going on with the Pyro. So a lot of Fire Nados coming out from them. And of course, when you have that Tempest and the Shadow Step, your movement is going to be cracked. That's what we're looking for Sparky, but they could really do with some upgrades. That Shadow Step rune is a common. We have some common things in their equipment. This is not going to be a great place for them to go and do a final circle with. But with 27 breakers left, there's plenty of fighting, plenty of looting still to be done.
Yeah, and we see Kalku Faded actually not getting the greatest loot on his hand. Has no amulet, no boots. Unfortunate. Does have the legendary spring step to make up for the no boots lack of mobility just a bit. But this player is definitely going to need to start finding some more chests before they try to pick those mid-game fights. It does look like this game is entering a slight mid-game lull. We see this come out often in the fully competitive games. Remember that this is just a scrim. But nonetheless, Taco's just blowing this player up. Good night as he spots him out and finishes him fast. That was a very efficient exile from Tacos as he takes down his second kill of the game. And he might have a big showing here in this Game 6 situation.
Yeah, Game 6 is so far heating up quite heavily. Already 24 players left, and we start with quite a full lobby. So, meaning that there's been a lot of exiles. And you already see it here straight on the screen. 2 exiles on their name, going up to find a third. But right now, oh, they actually found one. It's going to be a Tempest build, of course, coming out with the Pyro offhand. That's a nice Nado coming out. Fire Nado, a lot of damage on their opponent. Nice shot with the Fireball afterwards. And it's going to keep on tracking this down. Will get frozen up though, and they don't have any shields left. This is a lot of bursts that could come out, but they don't get hit. It's actually the Conduit Frost after, and there is a third party coming in from the other side of the cliff. We're going over to the well, one of the players that was in that fight. They're trying to heal up now, but like we said, there's a lightning strike coming straight down. You're not going to be happy after that one. Are you going to fall here? It looks like it, because with no health and an armored player against you, how can you even remotely think that you're going to get through this? A lot of damage coming back though. They actually did so much damage that the opponent was getting scared, and now they get third party. This is going all over the place right now. Play safe. It's going to be the finish. No, gets more armor back again. Nicely done. How do you even stay alive in these situations at this stage?
I'm not even sure, but Friv actually missed 2 super crucial toxic sprays. I'm sure you guys all saw that. One of them would have been Outbreak charged, but we can't critique him too hard because, like you said, he's doing a great job of staying alive. Look at himself, just working back to fight, moving up to the front side and taking that kill with confidence. Friv SB just shut me up when I was mid-sentence, man of class. Great execution from him to secure that kill. That's his second of the game, and we're down to just 20 people in Game 6. We see now Bastion, LMAO with that dash rune unlocked. Got that pyro build we've been seeing from him all day. Nice connect off the wall. Gonna move up on this player now, trying to push his advantage with the HP. Sees that the Shadow Step came out, but actually traps through the invis. Great job from Bastion. Doesn't get out far enough, and now look at his opponent just keeping up that bloodthirsty rage. Bastion, LMAO doing a beautiful play with the Firefly. That was some pyro technique right there, showing you guys how to fight a toxicologist effectively with fire and pyro. That was clean right there.
Bastion must be a druid because he just went all fire elemental on that guy. That was amazing to see. Flaming Dragon now in a bit of trouble. Looks to be low on that health, but still able to take away. You can't go too far though. The storm is right there. I know it doesn't do a lot of damage. Are you going to lure your enemy into it? They're going to try and zone block you. Going to be able to do so, but there's like 3 or 4 players around this area right now, and they all want to not die to the storm. They all want to get into the next safe zone, and Flaming Dragon just takes this opportunity for the third party to try and heal up a little bit. Gets the armor back, gets some health back, will now be fairly healthy in order to be able to get back out of the side of the storm. It's a good place to be, and of course they have some range with that conduit build, got some extra rune charges, and again with that spring step rune. It seems like that's just Flaming Dragon's preference. I mean, why would you go for any other rune if that's the thing? And these players are still fighting over there. Flaming Dragon just gets to mop up afterwards. I say mop up, but of course their opponent has full health, full armor, and they get another player on them. Flaming Dragon netting no chill on this one. This might be a game that they cannot win anymore, play safe.
Yeah, it's so hard. Like you said, he's just getting pushed in this circle. Maybe somebody recognized him from those first 2 wins and says, I need to be the one to put Flaming Dragon out. But he actually gets away with this. He gets far enough away that he drinks his pots. You see that he has a big HP pot. And as you also said, the storm at this stage does not do massive damage. He also has recovery. So there's a chance that Flaming Dragon can actually run his way through. But we're going to go to a new angle. This is another player in the storm, in fact. So they're going to be trying to get their way out. There's a fight unfolding directly out of it, too. Gets a little bit of conduit damage from deep, but only a couple 11s are going to stick. Now we see him repositioning on the side of this rock. This is actually a very solid spot for Conduit to just deal some deep damage. Remember that this is a scrim, so it is not scored. Usually in the competitive events, getting even the smallest ticks of damage is going to do you massive points, or just moderate points. I shouldn't say massive. But in this situation, these players are just playing for the practice of it, so there is no actual scorecards. But if it was, that would be a fantastic move from a Conduit player to tick in some deep damage. Virilus is on the same strategies. He has no belt once again, going for the Recklessness Toxicologist with the Frost offhand. So much potential for burst with this build. He's going to just be slowly walking his way up with his back to the storm. Doesn't want to take this one too far and doesn't want to get jumped on for sure. We actually saw him, man of class, in the earlier games getting destroyed by some people trying to pop up on him with those pyro builds. We also saw him destroy Marcus, who ran up on him, but this is a high variance build for sure.
It definitely is. You don't always get the same value from it, but they got in the final circle twice. They were doing very well before. Gets a huge snipe on that one. Of course, massive damage, but is now going to run to the storm. They gotta get away from this. They have to heal. They don't really have that many heal pots left. The storm is doing way more damage right now, and they find a barge heal one, but it's such a tightrope to walk right now. Will they make it? I don't think we're going to see the end of this because I feel like we're going to be jumping soon, but they're so close to it. I think they'll make it, but they'll probably run straight into another fight. And at this stage, they look to have barely any health left by the time they get there.
Yeah, recovery might just be enough if he had it, but unfortunately he's got that recklessness. So now we off to another player moving up the side. He's sitting in his own cloud, or at least an opponent's cloud, as he's not getting the invis jump from it. Now he's going to have his Shadow Step off cooldown. He knows that this other player must be looking to pot. This is where Toxicologists can really assassinate a target, but he runs into a player who's full armor, full HP. This is not what he wanted. Now he's just probably going to have to fall here. His opponent had such an advantage to start, but it's actually quite even. An Outbreak flick plus a little bit of extra damage could do it. but he's just going to back off. Azole doesn't want to take it completely face on. He does know he has enough resources to drink some more potions to just chill out and keep himself healthy for the final circle. We see Juanchito now using that frozen alacrity, just a small bit of it to bounce his move speed forward. He also decided to go with Spring Step today. So he's got that legendary on short cooldown. Nice use of that frost sorcery. We know that if his opponent rounded the corner, he would have likely gotten frozen. Juanchito, though, getting away with this one. Fully alive, just no armor really to speak of. Gonna have to find some resources if he wants to take this game.
Yeah, and I see already the chat. Appreciate you guys hosting Casted Scrims tonight. It feels good to get back into the comp scene. Well, we agree with you. That's why we do them. It's great to see the plays coming out. It's great to support the community and the community. It's also really nice that you guys are supporting us and the competition. Spellbreak, it's only just beginning, man. It's gonna get bigger and bigger as we go on. And now that we get to this final circle area, 7 breakers left. There's still so much surface area to work with on this map. We talked about it before, how quick the time to kill is for these competitive players. And you see it again, just jumps down straight away. Not even a reaction, just deleted from the video game right there. And that's the consistent play we see from these players. If you get caught out, you are just dead. There's nothing you can do about it. You just get deleted. And of course, with his scavenging talent, no reason to heal, because you can get another exile and you're just gonna get it all back.
This man is showing no fear. He is corner checking with Pyro, throwing out Toxic in his own face. He does not care about his own HP pool. He's looking to assassinate these players. We saw him blow somebody up who's trying to take a pot. When you're running scavenging like this player is, you can afford to be so aggressive because you know if you get that kill, you get the resource reward. But we are just still down to 6 players in this game. This is such a large circle for such a few amount of people still left. But Game in Canada, YT just gets jumped on from the backside, has to try to make up for it with some shockwaves, but it's going to be tough fights for sure. CC's going to land as well, and Game in Canada will likely go down here. That fireball from Flaming Dwagon goes, but Flaming Dwagon gets sniped, and that's going to be the end of his game 6. There is just 3 people remaining, a 1v1v1 situation. Para is up top with no armor to drink, just HP in the inventory. See if he can make some work with it here, MOC.
I mean, look, it's one thing we know for sure. You cannot win 3 games in a row. Gigabyte couldn't do it. Flaming Dwagon cannot do it. And, I mean, we only have... This is like, after this, we only have 2 more games. So that means that whoever wins this game could still get the hat trick. But it's not going to be Flaming Dragon or Gigabyte. This is a 1v1 for the ages, but there's not a player somewhere hiding. I don't know where they are. And I don't think these players know either. They just see the scorecard. But with the scavenging, you don't mind because you know that you're going to get that health and armor back. And now you can take the 1v1 versus your enemy. But that's a huge toxic cloud. And of course, the toxicologist with their invis, with their vanishing mist. You're never going to be able to catch them out. The outbreak is going to hurt so much. And they run the pyro on this side as well. Nice fire offhand. The flame wall is coming out here. And they're trying to heal up, I think, but there's no point. Just finish this fight. No one's gonna be able to get out alive. You know exactly where your opponent's gonna be all the time. And it's a fairly open point as well. There's like 3 tiers to this high ground. So you have this this low crevice where they're almost falling onto, the mid platform, and then the top. And right now, both players are trying to fight to keep on that high ground, but it's such a small area that you cannot just stand there, or these toxicologists and the fireballs will just completely zone you out and take you out. That's a quick heal up, I think, that happened there with the small health pot, and that might be the extra health they need to finish out this one. It's getting close to the end. Only 20-30 HP, and that's a nice fireball to finish it off. You didn't see it explode. They didn't hit each other. They just hit their opponent, and that is another dub coming out from another new player that wins a scrim. I like seeing it play safe. I like when not every time the same player wins, and that's the energy of battle royales. The same player keeps winning, it just gets boring every single time.
I got to agree with you, but there's one heartbreaker about that one. I can't scream Flaming Dwagon takes the W, but regardless, still a great game. And like you said, I really, really liked that final circle position. That was a super interesting dynamic for a 1v1. The multiple layered building there, not building, sorry, it was a hill, but a multiple layer structure where they have to spring step over to the top or use shadow step to break line of sight. Definitely an interesting fight. We got 2 more games remaining, games 7 and 8 coming up. I imagine that the players must be getting a bit of fatigue. We've been going for almost 2 hours, and this is what I think is so good about scrim practice for these players. You can practice all you want in a pub environment, but to play for 2 straight hours is difficult. To keep focus for 2 straight hours is harder than you might think. So for players to hop in these scrim environments and perform for a solid 6 games straight, that's a great sign for them going into the competitive events. And now we got just 2 more matches remaining, as we mentioned. Any predictions for what we're going to see in the final games?
I mean, I just get it. We're going to see more Glass Cannon. We're going to see more Flaming Dragon, I hope. But honestly, I'm hoping that some of these other players that the chat's been asking for, like Mancy, are getting in, because it's nice to see more of a rotation going on in those lobbies. But it's very likely that what's happening right now is that the one lobby's been going, the other lobby goes as well. They don't finish at the same time. So we'd have to wait for the other lobby to finish to get those players that are in there to get into this scrim. And usually we just try to like keep it going. So there's a good chance you won't see Mancy anymore this night. But still a possibility that you will. So we're going to go hop into the next game. Of course, that will be which game? Game 7, indeed. Only 2 more games to go, and then we're going to be done with the scrim nights. And I feel like we've been here for hours already with the amount of good content we've gotten, but it's only been, an hour and a half. Okay, it's almost been 2 hours. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But we had a bit of a break in between, so technically only 1 minute and 40 gameplay. Maybe it's been pretty good. I've been enjoying this, and I think your jersey behind you is also, shining at you. It's like, why am I not a Spellbreak jersey? Why do I have to be? No, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna go
get my hands on a Spellbreak jersey. You are damn sure it would be hanging on my wall. Unfortunately, I do not have any Spellbreak merch. I don't think it's been released at this point, but I'm going to be shelling out my credit card to purchase when it does come out. Maybe beg some developers for a signature as well. But nonetheless, we're going to be waiting for Game 7 coming up here. This is going to be stretched out. So we did say that these players are not used to playing more than 6 games straight. In all of our competitive events, we've had 6 games, and that would mark this as the final match. But these players are going to have to keep on the focus, extend it for 2 more games, practice their builds just a little bit more. And I'm personally hoping to see Varillas continue with this Glass Cannon Toxicologist build. It has been a thriller to see that one come out today.
And if you want to know more about all these specific classes, if you're not that familiar with the game yet, it's going to be Spellbreak Academy time, guys. Element is going to be organizing that. I already see Dialectics in Motion saying it in chat. It's a great concept. It is, because it takes a while to learn this game, all the mechanics, etc., and it can be jarring. You jump into a game, you just die straight away, you don't really know what happens, you don't really get the chance to practice it, because there's not really a training range where you can really, fight against something that's moving. So yeah, Academy will hopefully help you a little bit with that, get a little bit of a grip on what you like to play, what you like to think is good. And yeah, we're gonna get that initiative going. Right now, we're jumping straight into the next game, though, and we're already getting a 1v1 going on. But there's third parties, there's ice lances flying all over the place. Low health bar, though. Are you gonna be able to finish up the skill, or is it gonna get stolen? No, it's gonna be yours straight away. Dex gets that one. MTS TTV. You know that they're a Twitch player. If you like what they're playing right now, go follow them. There's a lot of TTVs in this one. I think basically every player in this lobby will probably be streaming or YouTubing at some point. So if you like a player, go follow them. Create a fan base. Make the community even bigger and more specific. It's always great to see that coming out. We'll now go over to the next one, bouncing around and plays. Alacrity's out. It's Brixie.
Yeah, we've seen Breezy on Frostborn actually all day today, so really interesting. But bouncing over to a new fight now, look at that clean kill. Nice. 2 Frostbolts to the forehead to take down the 2nd kill for Cozy. Very, very good start from them to start out this Game 7. How many times can I say start in one sentence? Now we're over to Flaming Dragon with that common belt, but we're going to just get right off of them. These players are picking fights consistently in this early game, Man of Class. We have not stopped seeing some bloody early games in today's scrim. Now we're getting over to a new player, Wooksies, with that common invis. Definitely probably looking for a new rune to pack up, because that is not going to do a pyro much good.
Yeah, it looks like... Ooh, nice. I think Brett actually was in the lobby, did get eliminated, but apparently they took down Varillas because they had a belt. Varillas didn't, which, of course, is the weakness of their build. Gonna go on board with Zen, your captain for today, flying Spellbreak Airlines. It's great to see the flight rune come out. Of course, double charged because of the conduit. As always, their classic Spellslinger build. You don't see a lot of players do this, but the reason why Zen runs it is because they're so good at it. And they're prepping their inventory already, have the dash rune in it, flight rune for now to move around the map, and then the dash for the actual fight engages. And you see that immediately the Thunderstrike, in order to be able to get that rune charge back, to always keep fighting, to always be on the move. Now we're going onto a very different fight going on right now. A lot of common items in these inventories, but the equipment is good. Just taking a break from fighting to read some scrolls, but there were definitely some enemies around here, so they might want to chase those down. And they have a flight rune. They can cover a lot of distance in a short time, but it looks like they might have lost track of people here.
Yeah, the build that they're rocking, though, with that Firestone offhand, Pyro as the class selection, there is so much damage within that setup. But nonetheless, we're going to bounce over to a new player now. Got that Harmony Toxicologist player. Shadow Step going to be off cooldown in just a second. The interesting part of this build is the Escapist choice. I know that Toxicologists consistently jump in the face to deal damage. Maybe that is the logic behind the Escapist choice, maybe making the most out of those trades face-to-face. But we're going to see if they can prove that's a good choice. We're going to move on and let them decide what happens in their final circle situation. Going over to Calcu Faded now as they continue to loot. And it looks like the mid-game lull has hit us hard. Not a lot of action that we can see as we bounce around with this loading screen. Lots of beautiful black screen for all of you guys to contrast your eyes against as we see this unfold. Now we see Mancy. Shout out to Age of Steel, who was talking in here earlier about Mancy being too good for the lobby. Well, we'll see if they can prove that now as Mancy is officially in the game. Has the flight room, takes a quick shockwave, gonna fly away actually. Probably the right choice. Does not want to engage the Stone Shaper in an open ground scrap like that. We also see that there is another opponent far away. Don't know if Mancy noticed that as well, but Mancy definitely making the choice here to move off the fight completely.
Yeah, they can always re-engage when they want to with that double fly charge and the conduit overcharge. They can easily get back in the fight whenever they want to. Runic Fluency is such a nice talent to have on top of conduit. You just never run out of mobility charges if you really want to. It's trying to find the opening for the for the Toxic Cloud, but isn't quite getting it. The Lightning Strike actually gets shocked themselves, unfortunately, by their opponent. Now going in with the Toxic Spray, Mancy, a little bit of trouble, not really in the greatest position right now, but of course with the Flight Rune can just relocate really quickly, really easily, and they're now losing track of their opponent again. Mancy, bit awkward right now in this fight. I mean, they've been playing for a while. They were in the Scrim voice chat, so I'm guessing they were in the other lobby. But it doesn't seem like they're quite able to perform right now, at least not to the standard that some of his fans might be used to.
Yeah, well, now he's going to actually see this fight continue. The Stone Shaper is not letting him get away easily. You see shockwaves coming his way. He's going to choose to just fly out of this one completely once again. This is one of the things about fighting Stone Shapers in these open scale environments. You can just decide if you want to fight. It is very hard for a Stone Shaper to keep up the tracking against a conduit with flight. And once again, Mancy is going to go away from this. And we might as well just bounce over to a new screen with the loading up, because I would love to see some straight up fights. It looks like the mid-game lull might be ending as we get over to Kael'nor directly, throwing down the firewall, but it didn't quite get placed well enough. And now his opponent is going to jump on him, but there's a third-party situation coming in as well, so there's going to be all sorts of people falling into this valley. Now we see Kael'nor actually using a flight rune as well to get himself away. Conduit's going to do him a huge favor by bouncing him another rune charge. Takes that to the side. He's going to bounce his Thirsty as well to get some more HP back. Kael'nor is a very mechanical player. We've seen him come out in these events and pop off before. I'm hoping to see it today, Man of Class.
Yeah, definitely hoping to see more of that come out. Right now, though, not going to be following them anymore. Going over to the next player, and there's a fight going on right here. It is Pokey. I can't read it. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a bit of a blur today on the names, so we'll try to get that back going on for the next time. Wumpsky is the one we're going to go for indeed. They're trying to chase their opponent down, but I think they don't have the mobility to keep up, because look at that Alacrity. Already puts their opponent way into that structure over there, but there's a third party going on there, so you can just interrupt. Vanishing Mist to get your dash straight away into there. Gets a better upgrade for the Gauntlet. Might even be able to read a scroll, even though, you know, they're already pretty read up. Maybe get some more in the Thirsty, more in the Scavenging, but that's about it. And there is the fight they want to take. They see that opponent, they see that health bar. Well, not quite yet, but as soon as they hit a hit, they get that. And wow, what movement with that Shadow Step. Just unable to catch out anything. Nice freeze up on that Poison Cloud. And I don't think they actually saw their opponent dash past them. I think they think they're still down there. But they're not there behind them. The Outbreak hits them. And oh no, Wumpsky taken out.
Yeah, when you don't have recovery and you're fighting a Toxicologist, that damage really sticks to you. And you see it right there. It is so hard to compete sometimes with the burst of Toxicologist if you cannot break line of sight in time. And right there we see an example of it as Wumpsky will go down to the Toxic Spray of Cozy. Sorry, once again, like you mentioned, the names are a little bit harder to read on today's broadcast, but we're getting over to Flaming Dragon, and that is not a name I'm going to forget as he's just dropping the deeps. Look at him, no fear, trading in this hallway. Fireball's coming out, but look at that third party as well. Fourth party, fifth party, make it 6. There's people everywhere here as Flaming Dragon spring steps back into the storm a little bit. This is going to be the end of the road, it looks like, as the lightning is dealing so much damage. Does break away. Flaming Dragon showing off the mechanics here, and that would have been a highlight shot if he could have hit it. Still going to get chased down though here. Lightning is going to do so much damage to him off the backside. Recovery is helping him survive just barely. One more tick of HP is going to do it. Flaming Dragon checking the corner, dodging the sorcery from the fire gauntlet, and now might be able to get one more. If he hits this, it's a miracle, but he might just break line of sight. His opponent's still chasing him. There's no way that his opponent is going to give up on this. He knows how low this player is. Flaming Dragon does get away just a little bit. I don't think this is enough. It's not. No. He's going to go down here, MOC.
Good finish there from no one TTV, another streamer going out there. I love seeing those names. Like a TTV, it is one of those things. It's gonna get you more followers, you know how it'd be. But we will see now. Go back to Zen. Zen's still in the lobby. Only 9 breakers left. Got 6 exiles on their name. Zen actually popping right now. Do we get the administrator actually taking out a win in the scrim today? That would be a beautiful sight. The support is just alive right now as the feed is dropping down a little bit. And now, ooh, that's actually a very nice change for us. Play safe. I mean, the screen's a little bit smaller, but I could definitely read what's going on right now.
Yeah, I'm getting a good look at the names now. Now we know for sure that it's Zen860, the Element admin, coming in here with the work. Does have that spell slinger that we constantly see from him, trying out these new types of builds. Does already spot out an opponent, puts down a nice lightning sorcery to hit him with 20 damage. Doesn't actually push up on the fight too much. Just wanted to let his opponent know that he is there. Does have an extra rune charge now thanks to dropping that sorcery and choosing Conduit. 9 people left in this game, and Man of Class, once again, we are in a scrim lobby where there's so much space for this final circle to be worked around. So many people still left in here as Cozy takes down no one TTV in the kill feed, and we see Zen860 rotating around. He's just seeing all sorts of action coming towards him, people firing shots, but nothing really landing. Zen doing a great job of just staying grounded in this fight, dealing damage where he can, and looking again for this high ground. Wants to make sure he doesn't overlook anything with his positioning, but now he's going to get pushed. His opponent sees him out here, Zen making a nice dodge onto the opponent's sorcery, but he's just not in a good enough healthy spot to take this fight. He might just drop here in the 1v1. He's getting through the side now, using that dash appropriately. Look at this, the tracking will not stop anywhere. Zen860 walks into his own firewall, and that is Kaelnor, who was on the front of that fight, doing a great job right there.
Oh, you know, he's also still in the lobby. It's Primotastic, and we know who's always fighting. It's Primotastic, and right now it's going to be a 6-player left. 3 exiles just happened there. There's well, actually 3 separate 1v1s going on apparently, and we will see if they can pick up at least one thing that gets the legendary belt. That's always an upgrade, but now you don't have any armor. Kilmore almost getting bursted down to 0, and it will indeed be Cozy that gets that last one. Nice. Cozy actually with the Cozy. I mean, it doesn't have umlaut on it. It's usually an O, but that's okay. Cozy just gets more off using that well, flash freeze really well there, and actually able to use the vanishing mist to get out. The shadow step, my mistake. And now he's in a pretty good spot here. 5 breakers left, going in onto the next fight. And as a toxicologist for the legendary gauntlet, you're going to get a lot of mists off. Looking pretty good there, using that visibility to our advantage.
Yeah, and Shin Miri with a great point, baited by the legendary belt. That player was following through, but actually got pulled out of position by that temptation. That is a great point, as we see Cozy now, 6 kills to his name, looking to make it 7, getting from deep, but doesn't quite land that one, just pixels away from getting that shot to go. As Cozy's actually in such a great spot in terms of final circle positioning. Nobody seems to know exactly where he is on the map. He is free to rain damage as we get over to Mancy's perspective, who is not so well hidden. They're taking massive damage from multiple angles as they now take a quick potion. Going to try to reposition. They only have 1 kill to their name, and Cozy's going to spot that one out and make it 7 for himself. Only 3 players remaining other than Cozy himself. He could drop a 10 bomb here, Man of Class, if he gets it going.
Lanky C Moose following them now. No exiles on the board. 3 other breakers in the lobby with them. We see Zen say it. You know, Zen lost that fight only because there were no more potions. Well, I mean, we always keep saying it, right? Got to be looted up in that last circle. If you have got nothing in your belt, you're looking very bad. And Cozy is just taking names. That's Mancy, Kellenor, Primo-tastic. They're just taking everybody out that might be a front runner to take this lobby, and they might not have any challenge left anymore at this stage. Only 2 other players. There's one, the other one in the distance. Gonna try and take this one out, but no, they're using the Vanishing Mist in order to get away from that, and now might just be hiding. Might just be able to pot a little bit, because of course they don't have to worry about it. They're just 1v1ing, but no, they're not gonna get the space to it. Plays, this is going to be a heavy 1v1v1.
I thought for sure he was going to be able to get that pot off in time, but he actually did get spotted. That's so unlucky, as now Cozy's going to have to just try to make it work in this 3 people left final circle. Again, there is so much space for these players to work with, though. Cozy doesn't quite get the pot off, though, and he hits a beautiful shot over the top with the Frost. Going to hit the quick crouch as well to warm up those hands, making sure he does get the potions now when he has the chance. This is such a great spot for him to take the game, but look at that Tempest just flying across, and now Cozy's going to have to try to reorient himself, sees how low this player is. This is going to come down to it here. Who has the mechanics in this 1v1 to make it happen? No armor to speak of, only HP to sit on as these players look to reposition and trade. Sees the clouds come out, doesn't touch Cozy. Cozy, oh, with the 80 damage. Oh, my goodness. Cozy mid-sentence, I'm trying to talk over it, but he just ends the game right there. 80 damage, Toxic Slap turns the corner around the side and hits him with it. That is game 7 in the books, and what an ending.
That was such an amazing play. Like, those are the hits that make the plays. If anyone's going to make a highlight reel, this is going to be the highlight video that's going to be in it, guys, because that's not, you cannot deny that one. It's beautiful, and I would have honestly been very disappointed if Cozy doesn't come away with the win there. That was such a beautiful play, and they had taken so many people out before that. I was honestly thinking they were running the scavenging. That's how much health they had left after all those exiles. Like, it was looking really good for them. I'm very happy they were able to take out the win. Like, of course, we're not supposed to be biased as casters, but if you see all those exiles and then someone else sneaks away the win, that just feels bad. Like, in every situation, it feels bad. You know, if you were playing the game, you get 7 exiles on the board and you lose to a guy that got 1 and that was on you, and that's how they won the game. Yeah, that doesn't feel right. So, Cozy, congratulations on the win. And we're going to get one more game in. Who's going to take it? We're not going to hat trick. No hat tricks tonight. No one's going to get 3 in a row. But we might still see Flaming Dragon or maybe even Gigabyte take out a dub and take out the 3 total.
That would be an exciting end to this game. And again, I mean, if Cozy has another pop-off, I'm not going to be upset about that being the result. No. As Tuca TV says, that was a 10 key, a 10 bomb right there, hitting that one up. I said it to you really quick. Do you think this is possible? There was about 5 people left in the game. He had 6 kills, I believe, and we weren't sure. Nonetheless, Cozy comes through and pops off in that game 7 situation. Hecate says that was spicy. Goddamn right it was spicy. That was definitely a beautiful game 7, and we're waiting for the final match, as you mentioned. Thanks again for sticking with us through today's broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate the support, and we are going to try to get you guys on the road for the end here. One more thing I'm going to ask you, though, man of class. Do you think Virilis can come out here with no belt and take that game 8?
It would be so amazing if they could. And honestly, all I want right now is I want Chet to tell us who they want to win. And I know they're going to say Flaming Dragon, but I hope to see other names as well. So Chet, give it away. Tell us who you want to win. We're not going to throw out a poll because we can't put all the names in it, but just tell us. Just let us know. I mean, we know that OSK is in. OSK is going to be playing this one. So maybe there's OSK fans out there or OSK haters. It's also possible. He thinks he has some at least because he got 1 dislike on a YouTube video. But, you know, it's out there. You know, it's also possible that he just maybe disliked it himself just to show that he has a dislike. I don't know. I think he's a likable guy. You know.
I'm a big OSK fan myself, so that's going to be my prediction to take this game 8. I have confidence in my co-casters. OSK Gaming, I am so ready for you to win this game and prove everybody wrong. Show them what you're really made of. Also, we got Nasty Schniggy coming out here for the game today. We have seen him in many events in the past. Super talented player. I'm always excited to have a nasty teammate join these games. And now we're going to see exactly what happens in the game 8. You know what I'm also hoping for, though? I want to see a Tempest player win a game here. I love the class, especially when it's played to the level that these guys are capable of. And how we see right away a fight off the bat. King Mello going to do a nice job of staying calm and finishing that kill himself. 37 people in the game as Roman Gnome finishes off another kill. We're going to keep on bouncing here, man of class. Break this one down for me right now.
I mean, there's nothing to break down. You just get slapped in the face, and Lanky Simo is out of it. Wonderful gets that kill. I love that name still. I know I said it in the first cast last week, but it's going to be keeping up there. Wonderful. I like you spelling it that way. Zen still in the match, gets the epic chest open, but we're going to go to Pop. We got to call him Pop because that's apparently what everyone calls him. And yeah, I mean, they're just looting. They're have this entire area almost to themselves. I think they spotted someone in the distance there. With that conduit and the poison offhand, might want to take that ranged damage for a little bit, but it's going to just pick up something more. Has some good gauntlets going on, especially their conduit gauntlet looking spicy, doing some reading. And we're going to Bastion LMAO. Has actually quite a bit good loot already, not quite on their main gauntlet, but definitely on the offhand of the lightning, and maybe looking for a little bit of an amulet. But generally speaking, this is really good early game loot to start off, and now you can just do some reading, go to the library, have some chill until they can go for the exiles. And with 33 players in the lobby, there is plenty of exiles to be get. And you know who's also here? It's Flaming Dragon.
For sure. He's been a mainstay in these games so far today. We also got Horrified coming out. Hey, shout out to Vidar. I'm I'm getting that name right for the $5 donation. Thank you very much, my friend. We appreciate your support. Also to you, Smilebomb ALYX. How do you get into lobby? This is the last game, so unfortunately this will be the final game. It's not possible to get into these lobbies anymore, but if you want to join in on the next session, join the Element Discord, check the schedule, and get yourself ready to just join in on any of the scrims. All you have to do is join the VC. There's no prior sign up. Just get yourself ready and be there on time. But yes, this is the last game for today. So unfortunately, you can't hop in time. We apologize for that. But now we see Novon, an Element moderator himself, coming out here, finishing off a kill into Azol. And that's going to be a nice kill for a Tempest player. I'm hoping to see him maybe take a W here. Would love to see the Tempest.
Yeah, I know you're a lot of fans of our colleagues, but never be a fan of me when I play in one of these, because I will not survive. I'll be laughing very hard if you're going to cheer me on, because that's not going to go well for you. Now we're going to see Roaming Gnome trying to go for another name, has already got an exile on their belt. Going to try and get another one. Those notches keep increasing, but will be taken out because Nasty Shingy gets in the lobby and immediately starts popping. That's how you do it. 2 exiles, 26 breakers in the lobby, and just keeps on fighting. He has a scavenging on, but didn't actually get that much back. Got enough though to survive those first shots, and now is going to be able to stay at range against those ice lances and that toxic spray, and will just be able to heal up. Oh, their opponent's going to be so salty about this. Like, oh, I had that hit, but he had scavenging on. Third party not working out.
If you are at home right now and you don't know about Team SK and Spellbreak, you need to get familiar. These guys always play so aggressive, and they show up to these events to play. I highly suggest checking them out on Twitter or wherever you want to see their socials and give them a look. They make some great players coming out of their organization right now as they bring them out for these events. Now we're looking at Schniggy himself. He did get that early kill, 2 on his name. Gets over the side though. The Common Stone is not going to do too much for him as he's looking at this fight. There's 2 people on different angles, and Schniggy is in between a rock and a hard place. Gets over the side now, does actually get away with his life, is in Fracture Central right now. Got to make sure he doesn't get caught up with his feet on the rocks. And he will get away with this one though. The Common Stone doing him just enough to get away. No reading done for him, but he still will survive. Recovery helped him out in this engagement, and he's going to get away. We have 24 people left in the game. So it is actually a little bit slower as we see Dex MTS in a fight now. Has the dash rune, double stacked off cooldown, is ready to move with that. But it doesn't look like he actually wants this fight right on Man of Class.
Oh, it doesn't have that many armor pots as a epic belt, so I would actually like to have some armor on them. That's why they pick up all these potions. Gonna look for a little bit of a corner to hide in, heal up. He already gets the big one off. That will be a lot of armor that gets straight away topped up onto their belt. And as we jump to the next player, Wuxies is trying to get something going here, and maybe just looting a little bit more. They have plenty, actually, only missing those spirit talents right now. No scrolls on that one, but that's why we're going to keep jumping. No fighting going on. That's boring. We want to see more. Wonderful. Once again, looks to be healing. Probably mid-engage with somebody. Using a beautiful Vanishing Mist to just go into that loot pile. Uses it again to just get back. But there is someone looking at them, I feel like. I don't think they're alone right here, and they know there's someone on that high ground. The Vanishing Mist might be able to get them up there, but right now it's all on them to try and hit some range shots. I think there's a third party coming in. Wonderful. Tries to take the engage away from themselves, take the attention off, and just use the dash moves beautifully to just put themselves in a nice, safe position inside of this structure. There's someone coming from the other side on that banister. I don't think they've seen them, so they'll be able to just either dodge that or assault the player. They go for option A, and now they're going to get assaulted. Wonderful, and there's so much fire right now, play safe. They might just go down straight away, and they will.
Yeah, Horrified just melting that player. We saw the dash movement coming out from him too, just getting right up in his face, like you mentioned. The triple stack Fervor is going to really help out Horrified's DPS as well, as he just burns through that player. And we see Doug Toxic fitting with the class as well. Got his Toxicologist Shadow Step nice and looted. This is near the area where Horrified just finished a kill, so we might see Doug Toxic push into another fight. We got Nasty Blizz in the chat. Hey lads, what's up, dude? How you doing? Welcome to the broadcasted scrims. You got here just in time for the very last game of the day. But Doug Toxic now just accidentally firing up a tornado right next to himself. He's going to get away with a bit of a Vanishing Mists. Going to look for the pot, maybe. No, never mind. Turning around right into the action. Flaming Dragon takes out Nasty Schniggy in the kill feed. And we see this game break down to 18 people left. Once again, the mid-game lull is very short in these scrims. They get right into the action as we bounce over to Cavan Diaper. And we keep on moving. I'll let you take over here as this looting continues.
I mean, you talk about mid-game lull. There's no lull anywhere in this game sometime. I mean, we already see everyone dropping. OSK is down, Bestimal is down, Wonderful is down. Another SK player, Rubex has gone down. So it's a very, very heavy lobby right now. 18 breakers left, and the zone is still looking pretty okay. I think it's landing somewhere on the east of the map, so that's always a interesting location to get to. Maybe get to Groovy Grove even. It'd be a very cool place to end in the red mist, the red dew that's just hanging around there. Novan right now, though, had a very large hit on the player. They're trying to finish off now, but I don't think they can find them anymore. Really looking for it. Now they see two of them, actually, one is flying away, trying to get the flash freeze off in order to get that last hit. The Tempest build working out wonders for Nolan in terms of mobility. They're taking so much damage. They need to get out of this. They need to get a range, and they're trying to heal, but no, the toxic clouds are going to prevent you from doing so, Nolan. Get out of there. Novan under pressure, taken out by Dex. And in the meantime, there's so much more happening. Nasty Shinji is also going down. No escape players. I mean, barely any in the lobby left. Maybe there might be none. It's actually possible. And Dex is now trying to find the kill on the next player. They've already got 2 exiles, but they want more. Taking a brunt of damage of themselves and actually taking more and more. The third parties come in, and it's going to be Primotastic that gets the exile. The guy that never stops fighting. I don't know why Primo doesn't run anything in terms of scavenging, because they would always get health back. That's how much they fight.
Yeah, that would actually be a great call for him to take, but he's rocking in Fervor all day today. He took so much damage in that short burst. If anybody missed that, that was insanity. He was almost full HP, but it looked like multiple people threw a ton of sorcery damage onto him. So now Primotastic is going to have to just try to reposition themselves. Gets over now onto some new high ground, smashing that stone to get their passive armor recharged just a little bit. Fervor is going to help with that case just off the top, and now 13 people left in the game. Primo definitely doesn't want any action here as Flaming Dragon takes out Horrify in the kill feed, and we're over to Kyrie Caitlyn throwing down a Toxic Nado. Doesn't quite get the damage from it, and a Fireball actually hits from deep. Now Kyrie is in a lot of trouble as she jumps up, throws down a Toxic Cloud. Not enough. Cavan will drop them down with a Fireball, but they are in trouble as well. Shadow Step is off cooldown, but the Storm is going to engulf them. They have to try to make a move here and make it quick. Getting off the front side, their opponent is quite low. Nice damage as they finish off Zen 860. The Element Administrator himself gets blown up by Cavan D Hyper. And I finally get the name correct for Cavan as we are down to single digits here, MOC.
Yeah, single digits are definitely a thing, but the circle is still pretty big. Cavan the Hyper is trying to go back into that zone. Doesn't want to get too much damage from the storm, but they have no health potions. They really need to catch up here. I know the recovery, they don't even have recovery to work with. Their potion is letting out. I think they might take out here. This is such a tragic moment. The Firefly isn't going to save them. It looks like it barely, maybe not. It's so close. Oh, we're going to actually cast a moment where someone dies to the storm. Is it happening? No, he barely gets in. We have no health left. Just one hit from anything. Even a wind shear will kill you. Gets the small armor pot off, but still's got nothing to work with. All that effort just to get blown up straight away as you get into the zone. That would be very tragic. And it looks like Cavan D Hyper is definitely in a position where that might happen to them. Gonna hope onto someone who isn't running away though. Hopefully that is gonna be Coach LG Twitch, but they might also be trying to keep a distance with that Ice Lance.
I really cannot believe that he just lived through that. As people are pointing out in chat, he went down to 1 HP multiple times, but Kavan doing a great job of keeping his head on his shoulders and staying alive. We see Coach ALG, 8 people left in the game, so this lobby has officially hit those single-digit marks that you know it's about to unfold for the final fight. Coach ALG is going to watch this player probably jump up nice and close to him, actually just deciding to preemptively get up there, see somebody in the front with fortitude, wants to probably break that invincibility, but doesn't have the means to do it quite yet. Jumping over to a new angle now, looking to break it, hits it nicely to shatter fortitude, and now Coach ALG has an opportunity to get some damage down. Flaming Dragon does finish a kill onto Game in Canada YT, so he continues his reign of terror on this lobby as Coach ALG is just rotating around the side of the castle, wants to make sure they don't commit too hard to this fight. We know that when there's still 7 people left in the game, it's not decisively going to be the last engagement. You have the chance of getting third-partied so hard at the end after so much time, as we see somebody jump onto Coach ALG, and they don't have very much HP or armor to speak of. That was not a great move, as Coach ALG will actually just try to capitalize now. Seeing this quick jump, gets hit with a DF on their own cloud, and now they just try to drop their Frost Sorcery. Not going to be enough. Getting back into the AoE of it, getting a little bit of blockage in, but it's going to be such a hard fight to get away from the Pyro player. That is Flaming Dragon once again, and excuse me, not a Pyro player. This is Conduit with the fire offhand, in fact.
Yeah, and Flaming Dragon and Various, they're still in this lobby. We could see another fight showdown between the Flaming Dragon and the Glass Cannon, and that would be a beautiful thing to see. The Glass Cannon is still very much alive here, but is not rocking a great medallion. That's maybe the biggest problem they're going to have. They want that amulet to be fully stocked up so they can have plenty of mana to fight, because the more mana they have, the more damage they're going to be able to do in a short amount of time. Storm is going to be closing in. It's a very small circle. 5 players left. We finally get to this place where there's not enough space to move around for everybody. There is a purple belt, but of course that's going to be picked up by Mr. Glass Cannon himself. Arillis gets up to the high ground with a nice teleport, lands next to a player, tries to do the burst damage, but doesn't quite get it off, and taken out. Flaming Dragon takes down Virilius. That's 4 players in the lobby left. Flaming Dragon takes the armor pot, takes a little bit of that storm damage, which is actually ticking a bit heavier now, but has plenty of HP left, plenty of armor left, and is just looking for an opportunity to third party a fight right now. They've got 5 exiles. They don't need any more right now. They're just waiting for a chance to finish off this game and get that 3rd win of the night on their name.
And we just saw how much that focused mana put in onto the no-belt Virilius. He got blown up, and there's very little he could do about it. Nice play from Flaming Dragon as they now get jumped on, though, trading so hard with this player up the front. And Buddha Freestyle will go down to Flaming Dragon. 3 people left in the game, including Dragon, as we bounce over to a new angle. Wizdub actually going to be the one we're seeing here as they look to fight this off the front side. Flaming Dragon's getting third-partied. So unfortunate. Wizdub is trying to make a difference here, though, running up onto the player approaching. Flaming Dragon will go down to Primo-tastic, and now we see Wizdub in a 1v1 flat out. Spring Step up to the high ground, going to need a lot of damage to turn this fight. We know for a fact that Primo-tastic at least still has 25 armor, as Wizdub gets hit with a beautiful air shot by his opponent, and the firewall continues the pressure. Wizdub is done for. Primo-tastic is going to take home the final game of the scrims today, man of class.
And after all that fighting they did for 8 games long, Primo-tastic basically never stopped fighting during any of them. They finally get the dub. It finally pays off all that aggression. And I mean, congratulations to you. You won the last game of the night. I see the question of what's the scoring system in tournaments. Well, it is a combination, of course, of players' placements, how much damage they've done, and how much exiles they actually have gotten. It's more weighted towards those exiles and the damage to not encourage the camping that much, to not like be like, oh, I'm just going to wait till the last zone, because then you'll get very annoying situations where no one's ever fighting. But that's roughly it. So now you take the average over multiple games, and like the best games get taken and the other ones drop off, so you can have some lesser games going on. It's the exact method is described, but that's roughly where it is, right? Like that's how we do these things. So yeah, thanks for asking, because I always like to talk about stats. That's my thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge part of the tournament is how players play around for those scores. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. We just have a couple things we want to address. Huge things happening at Element recently, and not just at Element, but the game itself. October 22nd, a massive patch dropping. Twitch Rivals is around the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, get excited for the future of Spellbreak, please, because it is really starting to take off. Another thing, though, for Element specifically, is that we are doing an Academy training session. It is a very cool new idea that is paired with Proletariat themselves. It's going to be very awesome, so make sure you check that one out. Check out the Discord by joining it, and make sure you are very aware of these upcoming events if you want to participate and be a player in Element Competitive. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for coming through today. We can't tell you enough how much we appreciate your support. We saw all sorts of new names in the chat today, all sorts of new subscriptions, and it really just warms our heart to see that coming out here in the broadcasted scrims. Man of class, anything you want to say before we head out here today?
I mean, I just can't believe it's already over. I kind of want more. Can we keep going, or do we really have to stop? No. We'll definitely be back next week. We have a little bit of a break from the competitive, like the official scored side of things because of the new patch dropping. We're going to give everyone like a proper chance to get things on for the meta. But instead we have Academy starting up. We might be doing some more Casted Scrims throughout the week to like replace the feeling of having not having the competitive Spellbreak thing. So next time you see a stream, might be on the new patch. So it'll be very exciting. And of course, Halloween stuff is coming. There's so much content, so much fun stuff to be enjoying in Spellbreak, and I cannot wait to be a part of it together with all you guys.
100%, and we are excited to have all of you guys be a part of it as well. This is a community effort, as you guys all know, and we hope you have a fantastic week, starting your Monday off with some beautiful Element competitive content. We hope you guys take care, stay safe during these troubling times, and let's have a great week. We will see you guys soon.